The Miami Dolphins who do the celebrating, and already the Raider fans rubbing it into the Seattle Seahawks. Had they won Seattle today at Kansas City, they would have knocked the Raiders out of playoff contention. Hello everyone, with Paul McGuire and Phil Sims, we welcome you aboard. Let's go back earlier in the year. Game 7, Mile High Stadium. Remember on Monday night, the Denver Broncos shellacked the Oakland Raiders 27-0, and in the course of the victory, Dave Wyman, the linebacker on the left, threw a forearm, a $12,000 forearm, that shattered the cartilage in the throat of Jeff Hostetler. There was bad blood, needless to say, between these two teams. Anyway, Wyman in uniform, they said there might be retaliation at midseason, but time has tempered those emotions, as well as a 5-game Raider losing streak, and yet here they are, Bill Sims, a win away from making the playoffs anyway, but they got a young guy at the controls.
Yeah, letting Billy Joe Hobert start again. He started a couple weeks ago against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the players and the coaches kept telling Billy Joe, you got to stay calm out there today. But this week, it's a different tune. Mike White has whispered into his ear 3 times this week. Stay loose and just be yourself. And be yourself, it's best described with a tattoo on his left calf. There it is. It says, tee it high and let it fly. And with Billy Joe Hobert, that means come out, play with lots of emotion, throw the football down the field and make some plays, because this Raider offense needs to make some plays today.
Tee it high and let it fly. Your theme is tee it low and let it blow. Oh, let it go, rather. Whatever. All right, the Denver Broncos. They learned last night that they were out of the playoffs. What's going to motivate them to play hard today?
2 things. If they win this football game, they're 8-8. That's a 50-50 season. The other thing is they have the opportunity, the team that they hate, to knock them out of the playoff. And I'll tell you something, what a better Christmas present for Mike Shanahan to have the Denver Broncos knock off the Oakland Raiders.
Mike Shanahan, who coached the Raiders briefly. Al Davis excused him at mid-year, replaced him with Art Shell, so there's some reason for him to win. And on the other sidelines, first-year coach Jackrabbit Mike White, and if they win today, it'll be a white Christmas around these parts. Ready to go, and the silver and black will take the kickoff of Jason Elam. Rocket Ismail is deep. The kick is short. Racing up is Ismail at the 17, and tripped up at the 27-yard line. Mondell Jones made the tackle. And here's Billy Joe Hobert. They call him Mongo after the character in one of the Brooks movies. Gerald Perry, Steve Wisniewski, Dan Turk, Kevin Gogan, and Greg Strepanak. The blockers, they've done a real good job of protecting the quarterback this year. Ask Jeff Hostetler, out with surgery the rest of the season. Williams has his 1,000 yards. Brown goes to another Pro Bowl. Ismail's been a disappointment. Hobbs is the 3rd wideout. Hobert comes out winging, and Tim Brown falls as he makes his cut out at the 35-yard line, and it looked as if that play was going to work. The Denver Broncos defense reads this way. Hasselbeck, Jones, Perry, and Fletcher have not created much pressure on opposing quarterbacks and have only 8 interceptions all season. Kadrez, Wyman, Aldridge the backers, Crockett, and Washington. Washington was injured last week at the corners. Atwater goes to the Pro Bowl. Tyrone Braxton, the other safety, and Hilliard and Hager come in their dime. We welcome those of you who have seen Kansas City finish their work in Seattle 26-3. Seahawks coming close to the playoffs. Kansas City assures home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and of course the victory for Kansas City, a rival of Oakland, was cheered heartily by these Raider fans, because now it's in the hands of Mike White's team. They win against Denver today, as they are favored to do so, even though without their starting quarterback Jeff Hostetler, they go to the playoffs, would play San Diego next week. Just underway, 3rd down and 9 from the 28-yard line. Brown in motion. Hostetler, or rather Hobert replacing Hostetler. He throws like the Hoss, and Tim Brown has a first down at the 47. A 20-yard play.
Excellent job by Billy Joe Hobert right there, staying into the pocket to the last second. and going outside and waiting for the receiver to go down the field and see that he scrambled Tim Brown. He breaks back to the middle, and a throw on the run by Billy Joe Hobart.
And we welcome those of you who have seen the Oilers finish with a victory at Buffalo, 28-17. There was nothing to gain for the Bills, and Mark Levy had indicated, Marv had said he wasn't going to play many of his regulars anyway, and Houston prevails. Here after the first down, it's Williams on the toss. He's to the 45 of Denver, and a flag is down. Well, it didn't take long to see the yellow linen. Let's go back to the Hobart scramble and pass to Brown.
Well, what you can see, look at Denver right there. It looks like they're going to blitz. They drop some of the linebackers, run the line of scrimmage out. Billy Joe Hobart keeps his composure, and right there, something he said he wanted to do today.
Illegal crackback, number 86 offense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Bob McElvey, the referee, and Rocket Ismail is ticketed for the crackback.
You know what's amazing about this Oakland Raider team, when you think about it, they lost 5 games in a row, Dick, and they have their destiny in their own hand. Ismail, lower left, you're going to see the crackback. Now that, you can't hit a guy at the knees. You have to take him from the waist up, and that's where they got him. Right here. Here it is. You're down on the ground. You're taking him away below the knees. That is illegal. Good call. But I mean, here's the Raiders lose 5, and they still can get in the playoff with a win. That's amazing.
First and long as they send the fullback Fenner out of the backfield. And Hobart to throw to Fenner. Complete at the 40. And good coverage at the 43-yard line from Tyrone Braxton, a grave digger from Madison, Wisconsin.
A grave digger?
That's how he put his way through school for a couple, 3 summers, did Tyrone. Got his head turned around real quickly one day when he saw Stone that he was working around that said Braxton on it, he said.
That would make me nervous if I was digging a grave and I saw a tombstone with my name on it, but it was the brother of his grandfather with the tombstone, so it was...
It's okay then?
Yeah, well, it makes it a little better, I think. It wasn't for him.
Second down and 13. Williams, the 1,000-yard rusher this season, able to pick up a couple. No score, just underway here at the Coliseum in Oakland. Let's go to New York.
All right, Dick, in Atlanta, here's how the Falcons qualified for the postseason. Under 2 minutes to play, Bobby Hebert to Terrence Mathis. They will turn this into a 37-yard touchdown play. It gave the Falcons a 28-27 win over San Francisco, and the Falcons are in the postseason. Here's the NFC wildcard matchup next weekend. The Falcons are at Green Bay. The Detroit Lions travel to Philadelphia to play the Eagles. Dick?
The AFC final slot yet to be decided. It'll either be the Raiders or the Miami Dolphins, as Hobart's going to go long. Incomplete to Darrell Hobbs. Lionel Washington, and remarkably, Washington starts today against his former teammates after he lay in that supine position, frightening people who thought the very worst last week in the game at Kansas City, but here he is back in uniform and playing.
Well, you know, to people that watched that game, if you wonder what took so long, it was like a 15-minute break. But when he was on the ground, he said he had no feeling in his right side, and that's what scared him. That was after he sat up.
Glenn Milburn, dangerous return man for Denver back as Gossett aims it toward the middle of the field, and Milburn ad-libbing his way to the 20 and to the 23-yard line. John Elway and the Broncos will get their first opportunity on this perfect football day in Oakland, California, as we pause for this word. It's been one of the great rivalries in pro football, featuring colorful characters. The Raiders, John Madden and Darryl LaMonica, the venerable George Blanda and battling Ben Davidson, the Snake, Ken Stabler, and the Broncos and their famed Orange Crush defense. Featured the likes of Rich Jackson, Randy Gradishar, and Barney Chavis. Tom Jackson, whatever happened to him? Quarterback Craig Morton. And they're at it again in 1995. Elway out of the shotgun. Pumps, guns deep, nobody there. Mike Pritchard was closest. Elway has this line in front of him. Zimmerman, though injured and will require surgery, goes to another Pro Bowl. Schlereth, Malin, Habib, Thompson hurry up for the Elway run Broncos as you look at their defensive set. Throw incomplete. Elway hit as he tried to deliver the ball to Anthony Miller.
Well, as you can see, the Denver Broncos are coming out in 4 wide receivers, and that's because they really don't have a healthy tight end. They want to spread the field. Look at Eddie Anderson coming in unblocked. They want to spread the field, try to tire out this Oakland Raider defense, especially the pass rush and their defensive linemen.
The thing about this is, I mean, this was not by design. This was because of injury. They have, like you said, they have no tight end.
And it worked on that Monday night game. It did tire the Raider defense out weeks ago, and it worked for them.
Elway had to call time. So on 3rd and 10 on the first possession, Elway spends one of the timeouts. We played just about 4 minutes of this opening quarter. The Broncos and the Raiders looking for a win, go to the playoffs. Back to the Coliseum in Oakland, and we welcome those of you who have seen Jacksonville close out their first season with a win against Cleveland. 4th win for Jacksonville. John Elway has to eat it back at the 12-yard line. So the first 3 plays for the Broncos, 2 incomplete passes that weren't close, and a sack by Anthony Smith.
Excellent job by the Raider defensive line. What they do, they blitz from the outside. Look at the outside blitz for the Raiders, and the defensive line does a good job of staying in their lanes in front of John Elway. Anthony Smith doesn't let him scramble up, because that's where he can hurt you when he steps up, looks down the field, and makes those big plays.
7th sack of the year for Smith. Tom Ruin in to punt. Tim Brown back at midfield. Ruin a short, wobbly kick. And it takes an Oakland bounce all the way back to the 32-yard line. Now the Raiders in excellent position. First, let's switch to New York.
All right, Dick, earlier today in Chicago, the Bears knocked off the Philadelphia Eagles. This is Eric Kramer's 13-yard touchdown pass to Keith Jennings. With the loss by the Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys clinch the NFC East. They need to win tomorrow night for home field advantage through the playoffs. Dick?
Here at the Coliseum, it all boils down to the Raiders win or lose. Raiders in, lose, Miami's in, regardless of what happens in St. Louis with the Dolphins. Over at the University of Washington product. Play action. Throws to Fenner, and that was read well by Steve Atwater, the all-pro safety.
You know, Ron, take a look at it. This is a terrible field. It's all sand and mud, and it's below sea level. And just see what happens here. Does he slip? His left foot slips, goes down. That's why the punt, you know, never got back to where the first down marker was. You talk about a bad kick.
18 yards on the punt for Ruin, who's 3rd in the league in net punting, averaging over 38 net. 2nd down and 9. Harvey Williams, a huge hole, and Williams rips through for a first down at the 15. Atwater saved the touchdown.
Well, the Raiders are coming out today and getting back into what they think their offense should be. Throw on first down, then give them the look of pass on 2nd down and surprise them with a run. That's one of the reasons Harvey Williams had such a big hole. Denver was playing the pass right there.
Williams with 1,027 yards coming in to lead this Oakland team, also in rushing touchdowns with 9. Williams again. 4-3, 4, Dave Wyman. Alan Aldrich in on the tackle.
You know, the one thing I like about this game plan for Billy Joe Hobart, this game, fellas, the last game, he ran through, got, you say, run, boo, you get booed. And now they're letting him the ball on first down. They're letting him do some other things to make it up. They've given him some options.
And, Paul, that's how their running game works. They do it off the passing game. And Mike White right there, you can see it. Mike White talks about their deceptive running team. They try to fool you into thinking it's and then they sneak a run in there on you.
2nd down, Hobart. Into the end zone? No, just into Hobbs. Touchdown! Hobbs from the 3, and Darryl Hobbs has his 3rd touchdown of the year.
going to tell you one thing. Billy Joe Hobert had a couple options. He had Harvey Williams out in the flat. He was wide open. Hobbs was wide open.
Hobert to Hobbs, the H combination, and now Jaeger out of Jeff Bassett's hold. 7-0. Billy Joe Hobert patiently guns the ball to Daryl Hobbs, and the Raiders take the early lead. Gives the Raiders a 7-0 lead after the 18-yard punt by Rowan. And now Jaeger kicks it off toward Glenn Milburn at the 15. Milburn takes the outside route and is bumped out in front of the Raider bench at the 42-yard line. Return. Dan Land bumped him out. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Well, here's Daryl Hobbs out here. All he's going to do is run in here and hook up. You're going to see Harvey Williams come to the flat, but watch Ray Crockett. He's the key right there. He sees Billy Joe Hobert look out in the flat. He says, let me get Harvey Williams. Nobody there to cover Daryl Hobbs. Easy touchdown.
And Hobert showing his sagacity with all the scramble and celebration. He says, hey, I want the ball. You guys go ahead and celebrate.
He's getting in there and mixing it up with the fans and everybody.
He's going to be quite a character. The fans here in Oakland are going to become very fond of this young man. The toss to Aaron Craver, the fullback. Albert Lewis brings him down at the 46-yard line. Look at the Raider defense with Smith. Already has a sack. Harrison McLaughlin on the way to the Pro Bowl, and Pat Swilling, who leads the team with 13 sacks. Fredrickson, Beekert, and Jones, the young active linebacking core. McDaniel and Lewis at the corners. Land and Anderson, the safeties. McDaniel, another Pro Bowl pick, and James Trapp is the third DB in the Pirate. 2nd and 7 at the 46. Elway. Oh, a diving catch by Mike Pritchard, and a Denver first down at the Raider 43.
You know what I liked on this play, Phil? I like the fact that they put Craver in motion. What that does is takes the linebacker out. Now you really can't blitz. They put you in a position that you're also going to be one-on-one coverage, and all Elway has to do, and he did it with Pritchard that time, find the guy that's one-on-one.
Craver, an interesting story out of Fresno State. 4 years with Miami, gained only 110 yards. He's got twice that this year. Moved to fullback by Mike Shanahan. And he gets the toss and sweeps the other way. Nothing there. Good play by Mike Jones, the leading Raider tackler this season.
You know, you're talking about Craver. He sat in with us. What a pleasant young man he is. You know that? He said, they brought me out here to play fullback. And I'm going to play fullback. He said, I love it.
Well, in this system, you know, he looks at the Tom Rathmans and the success in that West Coast offense of the fullback.
And Mike Shanahan even said this system is perfect for him, a fullback that can block, but the main thing is he can catch the pass.
2nd down, a long 10. Elway on top for Rod Smith, incomplete. Terry McDaniel on the coverage, and there's a flag in the defensive secondary of the Raiders.
It's got to be Albert Lewis. When the inside man comes off the line of scrimmage, now I don't know who's lined up on him, but there's a hold right.
Number 39 defense. That's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
That's Bruce Pickens.
Bruce Pickens is covering Eddie McCaffrey on the inside. Right there, you can see the hold around the jersey. That's a pretty good grip right there, and takes Eddie McCaffrey down. But seeing what the Broncos are doing, what they're trying to do is to tire out that Raider defense. But also, we were here a couple weeks ago, and we saw some of these sets, the 5 wide receivers. The Steelers had success with it, so the Broncos are trying to use that against this Oakland defense today.
So instead of 3rd and 10, Denver, they get the first down on the penalty at the 38. Milburn and a false start. Call him. It almost looked like they parachuted those flags in. 4 of them simultaneously hit the turf.
Schlereth.
Prior to the snap. Number 69 offense.
Schlereth was getting a running start. What do you call him? Schlereth?
Well, he was from Idaho and from Anchorage, Alaska. Well, no, I don't call him that. That's what he eats. So he said he ate one of those.
That's a little early. I'll tell you, don't you like the way he got his feet set though?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he got him parallel so he can make the block.
It's important to do the penalties proper, too.
Yeah, you have to.
Out of the shotgun. Elway goes long. And coming back to get the ball, no catch at the 10 was Anthony Miller. Very close to making a baseball sliding type outfielder catch.
Sometimes the best long balls a quarterback can throw, the ones that are slightly underthrown. And here you see Albert Lewis just trying hard to catch up with Anthony Miller. Anthony Miller sees it's underthrown, and I don't know.
Man, is
two
that
hands
close.
on it.
Well, look at the nose of the ball, though.
Yes.
When you see the nose of the ball, it has hit the ground right there. It hits the ground. That's
wow.
no good. Yeah, right on top of it. That would have been sensational.
No catch is the call. 2nd and 15. Miller 13 touchdowns, one away from the all-time Denver record of 14. Sammy Winder. Quickie over the middle, incomplete. Good coverage on Miller. Albert Lewis.
Albert Lewis, in all the years he's been in the National Football League, which is 13, and this guy is just outstanding coverage. Anthony Miller. Now that's the women.
Just a little early.
You can't wrap. First of all, you can't wrap your arm around the guy. Number two, you can't hit him in the back. So there's two things he did wrong. But
well, he is to defense at 35 what Marcus Allen is to offense at age 35. 3rd and 15. Good protection this time for Elway. And he finds Rod Smith open at the 23-yard line. First down. 20 on the play, but a flag is down, holding Denver.
You know, when you see a quarterback.
Number 29, offense. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Sitting back there that long, something's wrong. I mean, somebody's got to be holding somebody. Because Elway had all the time he wanted to throw the ball.
Well, the Raiders blitzed, and Aaron Craver had to pick up the secondary. A defender coming from the outside was beaten, and he had to grab on to keep John Elway from getting hit.
Trailing 7-0, Mike Shanahan's Broncos. 6 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Here's Aaron Craver on the outside. Look, Mike Jones is going to get around him right there. He's got hands on the outside, the shoulder pads. They will always call holding in that situation.
Well, 3rd and a bunch for Elway. Tries to screen it to Craver, but Anthony Smith makes the tackle after Chester McLaughlin broke up the play.
Chester McLaughlin, you talk about playing a play absolutely perfect. This was a screen, a quick screen to Aaron Craver, and Chester McLaughlin, watch what he does. He's going to stay home. First, he's got Clarence on him there. He reads it and then makes the play. That's outstanding.
Tom Bruin into punt. Tim Brown back at the 15. Better footing this time, but the kick still short. Dying spiral that will take another Raider bounce. And down by the Broncos at the 27-yard line. Only 26 on that punt to go with the 18-yarder earlier. For you here, Mr. McGuire. What's it all about?
Well, they went in. Look at Denver. They went in the locker room and got some new shoes. They're going to try everything they can. This field is nothing but sand with a little bit of grass on top of it. They don't even mow this stuff.
No, they got some paint on there too to make it
make it look green.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you something. It is an awful field.
Ball at the 28-yard line. 7-0. Oakland leads. They battle to go to San Diego next week in the playoffs with a victory. Handoff inside to Harvey Williams for Simon Fletcher playing in his final game with the Denver Broncos. In on the tackle as you look at Mike White. There's Simon out of Houston, his 11th year. This is his 143rd consecutive start, breaking Billy Thompson's record of 142. Simon's going to go off to his hot dog stands. He's got 5 of them. Very successful there in Denver.
They never got one.
Yeah, you love hot dogs too.
Yeah, that sack dog, you could really do some damage on some sack dogs. Maybe now that he'll be retired, he'll have more time to service.
He just doesn't like
Hobart to throw. Wide open as Hobbs again. A touchdown maker, a first down at the 45. 16-yard play.
Oh, I don't know what you see in Dick, but today you can just see it in Billy Joe Hobart. He's just more relaxed. Watch him right here. Just cruises back there. And look at this nice soft touch on the ball. Darryl Hobbs, easy to catch those type, and we're seeing a different quarterback in his second start.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you, you see Hobbs, he's going to make this move downfield, but Billy Joe has all the time in the world. The Denver Broncos defensive line and linebackers aren't even getting close to him.
Napoleon Kaufman makes his first appearance for Williams. And he gets the call. Slips on that soft sandy turf and no gain.
Dick,
Fletcher there to down him.
Excuse me, Dick, you know what's amazing about this field here is that I was talking to Al Locasell the other day, and Al Locasell, you'll see in the slip here on this field in the middle, it's just an absolute mess. When you try to make a cut, your feet go, that's that paint dirt you're talking about. But they're going to build a whole new stadium here. They are not going to do anything with this field. Can you imagine? He's saying they're going to build a brand new dance hall and not put on a dance floor. Can you believe that? When you look at this thing, there's no money and no plans to redo this field.
Yeah, they've got to get this stadium built first for the Oakland A's opening. As you look at Joe Hobert, throw one away, incomplete. Glenn Cadrez applying pressure. This is the play before as Dave Wyman.
Oh, Kevin Gogan says, oh, that Wyman guy, yep. Give you a little extra, little bit of payback there, I think. Dave Wyman better be careful standing around piles today. Some of these offensive linemen were good friends of Jeff Hostetler's, and they might want to pay him back a little.
David, keep moving, David.
Yeah. Don't plan for.
Yeah, something very.
Well, they have announced some scores that really have pleased the people in Oakland. One was the 49er loss. The other was the Kansas City win that assures the Raiders the playoffs should they be victorious. Hobert being chased, and Tim Brown knocked away by Lionel Washington, the former Raider.
This is a classic example of a defensive back looking at the eyes of the receiver. When Tim Brown is going for this ball, Lionel Washington doesn't even see it, but he's looking right in his eyes. Watch 48. He's looking right at the ground. Watch him put his hand up right there. He sees the ball coming through his eyes. Man, is that a great play.
Good call, Mr. McGuire. Lionel Washington, just a remarkable story. Who would have ever thought he would be in the starting lineup today after what we saw a week ago? Gossett drills a liner to Milburn, returnable. 20 and to the 23-yard line. 47-yard punt, 15-yard return. Well, tomorrow NBC Sports has a special package for
cover him, Shaq.
I can cover.
You could cover
with what? What would be in your hands?
Big old blanket.
First down, Denver at their 23. 2:46 left in the opening quarter. 7-0 Raiders. Elway doing a great job of staying up for a while, and then down he goes at the 19. Jerry Ball and Pat Swilling on his back, and they'll fight over who gets that sack.
Well, the Raider defense is playing like a playoff berth is at stake, and they're not being passive. Look there again, you can see the blitz, 6 people coming. John Elway does an excellent job of staying alive in the pocket, but he slips on this turf, falls down. And if he was looking down the field, Mike Pritchard, the coverage was blown by the Raider defense. I would say that is wide open.
Big old Jerry Ball, number 93, credited with a sack. Elway on the run, hits Miller, and Miller has the first down at the 37, but not for Eddie Anderson, shoestring tackle. Miller with his speed would have been off on a long run.
Phil, this is what you can't do. You can't let Elway step up.
Well, as soon as you see him step up, Paul, we all sit up here. You expect a big play, and look at Anthony Miller down the field. John Elway, the defensive line of the Raiders, must stay in front of him. When you give him this chance, they're fortunate it's not a bigger play than it was.
Meanwhile, James Trapp receiving some attention on the sidelines, and another Raider out at midfield also being worked on, Bruce Pickens.
Remember the game, game 7 when Denver played him, and Mustafa was on one knee. Najee Mustafa most of the game saying, "Wait, timeout."
Yeah.
I mean, this guy with this offense running around, they're going to drive these people crazy, and they're going to have some guys retire, get hurt.
Well, that's what they're actually trying to do, of course. We know that, Paul. They want to tire this defense out because physically, I don't think they believe they can stand in there and slug it out with this Raider defense. So they need a couple of drives like this, or 8 and 10 play drives to tire the defense, and then I think we get Elway and his receivers make some big plays.
As Pickens comes off, Mike Shanahan sends in a new wide receiver, Vance Johnson. Again, for those of you joining us late, with the injury to Shannon Sharp and Jerry Evans, neither man in uniform, and then Dwayne Carswell, who started last week, nicked, and having only Byron Chamberlain, who was activated off the development squad just a couple of weeks ago, that Mike Shanahan basically going with an all wide receiver offense. He's got 4 in there right now. Triple right. And then hand off to Craver, and he's got some running room. Anderson finally gets him and strips the ball. The Raiders recover at the 37. Rob Fredrickson gets it.
Craver drops the ball. Anderson has him by the waist, and he just drops the ball. The ball looks like it bounces. I mean, I don't know whether he's thinking about switching it or not, but the ball just comes out. And watch his left hand. Look at the ball. Anderson, well, you're right, Dick. Anderson's arm does come in. At the last second, he goes up and knocks the ball down. You've got to have control of the football.
Instead of a long run by Craver, it's a turnover for the Raiders. And it'll be Oakland with a 7-0 advantage starting from their 37. It was a 26-yard run before the fumble. And the Raiders have excelled at just that statistic. With that recovery, they're tied with Arizona, 21 fumbles recovered. They're also tied for the league lead in fumbles returned for touchdown, 3.
I'll tell you one thing, you kind of hit it on the head when you look at this defense. Now, there are a couple plays that Elway made, and that sweep there was a running play, and they're not expecting them to run. But the defense of the Oakland Raiders, they do look like they're playoff bound. I mean, they're inspired. But again, we've seen them in the beginning of games start out very well and then go right into the tank.
Billy Joe still at quarterback. Steps up, starts to run, and right there was Michael Dean Perry, number 95.
Michael Dean Perry.
And Aaron Craver, a little extra tutoring after that fumble. You never know, even though you think you're out in the clear, the defensive players are so clever at stripping the ball.
I tell you, I didn't realize he had that type of speed. Really, he got outside. This is the perfect fullback for a Mike Shanahan offense. He got outside there, and Anderson was really fortunate to be able to keep up with him and make the tackle.
That's hustle. And Billy Joel on that last play, Dick, when you're going to make a decision to run, you better start going now. Don't hesitate.
Credit Perry with a sack, his 6th. Harvey Williams on the draw and did not fool the Broncos. A gain maybe a half yard. Ray Crockett playing right up on the line of scrimmage to help out Simon Fletcher.
Now let me ask something, Phil, because you never had the opportunity to get the plays through the helmet, right?
Right.
We know this guy's a freewheeler.
Yeah.
See it high, let it fly.
That's right.
Okay. But you know, he's got the great opportunity. Sorry, I can't hear you. Hold your helmet. But I didn't hear you. I got my own play called.
Paul, quarterbacks don't think like you, thank God, you know, so that's why they don't do that.
I would sit there saying, I don't like that running play. I'm gonna call another pass play. Excuse me, I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
3rd down and a dozen for Holt. Hit as he throws and incomplete. That was Michael Dean Perry, who recorded his 6th sack on the previous play, and Hobart comes off holding that right hand.
I mean, he just hits it. Look at his that thing is just, he's holding on to it. Michael Dean.
Well, look at Michael Dean Perry right there. Right away, he realized Billy Joe Hobart is going to scramble to his right over there. Good hustle and getting in the face of the quarterback, and you can see Billy Joe Hobart's right hand hit Michael Dean right there, and
the helmet appeared to hit Perry's helmet. Jeff Gossett in to punt as Vince Evans tunes up. He was supposed to see duty regardless of how Hobart played anyway. Out of bounds at the Denver 31-yard line. A 32-yard punt by veteran Jeff Gossett in his 200th game as Gossett. And Vince Evans, had he played in all of them, he'd be in about his 300th, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
41-year-old quarterback.
Watch the right hand of Michael Dean Perry. I mean, your left hand, he catches him on the wrist in that forward motion. I think it just stung him a little bit. But you know, you talked about the 2 platooning with Vince Evans. When did they indicate when they would do that? I mean, is this the time now to try Vince for a series of downs?
Yeah, I think it is. 2 series. Not much happened the last 2 times Billy Joe, the Oakland Raider offense had it. Now bring Vince in, try to keep the emotion on your side, and I think he can give you a lift when he comes in.
Probably the final play of the quarter as Milburn on the handoff out of the shotgun is cartwheeled down shy of the 40-yard line. A pickup of 7. Joe King in on the tackle. And that'll do it for the opening period here at the Oakland Coliseum. The Raiders on a touchdown. Hobart to Hobbs lead 7-0.
Yeah, you got to pick your feet up. That's right. The name of this game. Pick them up and lay them down.
The second quarter, 7-0 Oakland. Broncos with a second and short from their own 39. Elway out of the shotgun, 4 wide receivers. Underneath to McCaffrey, and Ed McCaffrey, who played with the 49ers on the other side of the bay a year ago, has a first down. 13 on the play. Shannon Sharp, a spectator today, the Pro Bowl tight end of the Broncos, broken bone under his eye. He could play had they gone to the playoffs. And Terrell Davis, the brilliant rookie from Georgia, who had a mark, the longest shot draft to ever rush for 1,000 yards. He was the 196th player selected, rushed for over 1,100 yards.
Looks well rested.
Knee injury, the handoff to Craver, trying to make amends for that fumble, and he rips into the 38-yard line and another first down. They're the 2 key ingredients that are lost to John Elway and the Denver offense today.
Well, when I said that Terrell Davis looks well rested, that was the most amazing thing. We did it way back, and Denver played in Dallas, and he said, you know,
question was, what is your hobby?
Yeah, and he said, sleep.
Sleeping.
And I said, and Dick says, well, I mean, he waited a while until it registered, and ENBERG says to him, well, I mean, what constitutes a good sleep? He says, 13 hours.
Yeah.
And so we asked Craver that yesterday because he was with him. He said, does he sleep? He said, oh, yeah, he sleeps all the time. This guy, 13 hours a day, this guy sleeps.
It takes a lot of energy to run for all those yards he's getting every year, or this year.
But, you know, he impressed this Denver coaching staff from day one. Didn't make any mistakes. First went to Cal State Long Beach, recruited by George Allen, late great Redskin and Ram coach. Milburn into a pack of black jerseys on first down. Pat Swilling in the charge.
You know, if I was the Oakland Raiders, offense I would not want to see to try to conquer and get in the playoffs would be this Denver offense. Already today, here you're going to see Pat Swilling coming down the line and making the play, but all the different formations and everything they can watch. And even like John Elway said yesterday, he says Mike Shanahan is always pushing. You know, keep scoring, keep scoring. He doesn't worry about the defense. The offense is just trying to be as aggressive as it can always.
Back to losing to Seattle a couple of weeks ago, Shanahan said maybe I pushed too hard. Flag down. Usually that's 5 yards against the offense. One of the linemen moving.
You know, Dick, and you think about it, all this speculation about John Elway playing anymore. Folks, put it to bed. He's going to renegotiate, not renegotiate his contract, add on to it. He wants to finish his career with the Denver Broncos. He said he's very healthy this year, and he said it'll be probably 3 more years onto his contract, and he wants to walk away. The guy's intelligent enough to know that when it's over with, he is going to say, I'm done.
And second and long. Craver showing terrific patience. Waited for the hole to open and moves to the 33 of the Raiders. Another note on John Elway, and at 35, how far do you go? And he says, I've got to rely on somebody I really respect, the former coach, my dad, Jack.
Yeah, that's
He's
right.
in the Denver organization. He said, Dad, you got to tell me if I'm slipping, because I may not recognize him.
Well, isn't it interesting? I heard him do an interview. He said the same thing, and he says because he might not be able to see that, he's going to rely on his father. But trust me, and I think we all can say, John, you're not slipping. You still got it. So he should play a few more years.
Third down and 4. Batted in the air. Is it intercepted? Yes. At least the ending. Nope. Now they're motioning. It's the Denver ball, and offside is the call against the Raiders. So that would fly even had the Raiders picked it off.
Yeah, they right in the middle of
Number 93, defense.
Jerry Ball got a jump on the ball. Jerry Ball got a jump on the ball.
Yeah. Well, it's not because John Elway drew him offsides, because he's using a silent snap count right here. He raised his foot up, and I think Jerry Ball was expecting the ball to be snapped right after that. They hesitated. That's why he jumped offsides.
Chester McLaughlin would have had the interception. Instead, it's a first down for Denver. It looked as if Elway threw the ball off a teammate's helmet.
Chester's mad. He says, all right, Jerry, now you see him, you stay on side because you cost me an interception and some bonus money.
Well, Chester does have good hands. I saw him at practice Friday playing burnout with Jerry Ball, and Ball he can throw it very well, and he does have a good pair of hands.
Under center now is Elway. First down, trailing 7-0, early second quarter. Elway on the quick roll, and wide open is McCaffrey, and McCaffrey playing in somewhat the same role that Shannon Sharp does, the tight end, but really a wide receiver playing in tight.
That's right. You know, Ed McCaffrey can fill right in for Shannon Sharp, and here's just another variation the Denver offense can give you. Roll Elway out of the pocket, throw it real quick to Eddie McCaffrey for another big play.
Another injury on the field for the Oakland Raiders. I'm going to tell you something. Aaron Craver made a great block on that guy right there. That's enabled Elway to get to the outside. That's Anthony Smith. And Craver comes in and just takes him back to the inside and makes a heck of a block.
And with that, we have a break in the action. 12 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the opening half. Raiders by a touchdown. Raiders fans, Anthony Smith limped off in obvious pain, favoring a knee. First down, Denver. 16-yard line of the Raiders. Broncos trying to tie it up. Draw a play to Craver. And he's to the 10-yard line where Rob Frederickson assists Dan Land on the stop.
Not only can he run with the football, but Craver gets a tremendous block here. Watch him come in on the inside in number 29 on Smith, 94. Watch this block. And you say, is it a low block? No, it's not. Smith is blocking him down, but they're inside of that box. So when you're in that box, you can block low if you want to. And that play there just takes out and puts him on the sideline. Nice block.
Meanwhile, Craver has compiled 54 yards rushing in this opening half. 2nd and 6. Craver again, and another hole, and he's inside the 5. And first and goal for Denver. Frederickson stopped the ball carrier just shy of a touchdown. The Raiders inside the red zone this season. Their defense has been tough. The veritable brick wall. Only 17 touchdowns allowed.
Wait, did you get it? What is
burnout?
Burnout? What is that?
Well, I was going to explain. I didn't have time. Burnout's when two players stand about 10 yards apart, Chester McLaughlin and Jerry Ball, and just throw it until keep throwing at each other hard until one gives up or drops the football.
Great game.
Yeah, it is. I want to play it with you.
Miller, touchdown. Anthony Miller beats Albert Lewis as John Elway records his 25th touchdown pass of the year. That equals Elway's best ever in his 13 years in the NFL.
What a great adjustment by Anthony Miller. The ball was thrown behind him, and he makes the complete turnaround. For all you young people out there who want to look at the ball, don't try to reach back. Watch the turn that Anthony Miller makes. The ball is thrown behind him, but watch. He makes a complete turn, catches the football, touchdown.
Jason Elam in now to tie it up for the Broncos. And it's 7-all. And let's not forget the real key play. The Raiders had intercepted Elway, but Jerry Ball offside to extend the drive. They're even at 7. With 10:29 left in the half, it's tied at 7 as Elway takes the Broncos 68 yards and 8 plays. Touchdown throw to Anthony Miller. Elam. End over end to Rocket Ismail at the 10. And the former Notre Dame star to the 29, and flags fly. That'll give us a chance to go back to the touchdown. This looked a little bit like Jerry Rice, Anthony Miller, didn't it?
Well, that's what it is. Just change the names, Dick. It's right. Here's Anthony Miller right here. Here's Albert Lewis. Anthony Miller's going to go over the fake back in and go back out. And watch Albert Lewis, how he falls behind just a little bit. And that gives John Elway plenty of time to get out in the flat. But Mike Shanahan brought this to the San Francisco offense years ago. He's carried it over to the Broncos. In short yardage situations, use that wide receiver.
You know, you can see on that thing where Albert Lewis gets himself caught. And Anthony Miller, when he knows he's got like a yard more on him, then he takes off and beats him to the outside. There's just no chance.
And Sevens replaces Billy Joe Hobart. This is no surprise. Mike White promised all week long that he would split time with the quarterbacks, although Hobart would be a starter. So the oldest player in the league, 41-year-old Evans. They call him Jurassic, and a fumble on the toss, and the Broncos recover. Harold Hasselbeck falls on the loose ball at the 14-yard line. Raiders. A critical turnover on the first play. From Napoleon for Evans.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Dick. Napoleon Kaufman makes a mistake. Watch him right here. He's going to reach out for the ball with his hands a little too far. Doesn't let it get to his chest. That's one of the reasons why he fumbles the football.
Another thing, too, is when he's doing that, he's not looking at the ball. He's looking at the guy that's going to tackle him. You've got to look at the ball. It's just like receiving a pass. You've got to look the ball in. He didn't look it into his chest.
Well, a huge break for the Broncos in the 7-all tie, and you can bet those watching with their heart in Miami are cheering hard for John Elway. Miami goes to the playoffs only if the Raiders lose. Elway underneath to McCaffrey, who has been a very productive receiver in his first year in Denver. That's his 33rd catch. He was your teammate for 3 years, Phil.
Yeah, and I tell you, his strength is to line him up inside as the third wide receiver, like the Denver Broncos are doing. He's excellent over the middle, catching the ball outside. Why that's important is you can't bump him when he's inside. He can get away. What he has problem with is getting away from the bump when he's the outside receiver.
Good target at 6'5" is McCaffrey, who played at Stanford, as so many of these Broncos did. They're back home this weekend. Toss to Craver. Well done by the defense of the Raiders, and it was Bruce Pickens who came up from the secondary to make the tackle at the 11. 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, Bruce Pickens makes the tackle, but I'll tell you what, the man that really made the play was not Eric Thomas, number 36.
Terry McDaniel.
He comes in and just wipes out the guard and the fullback and makes the play.
Again, the wide to a side for Elway out of the shotgun. Whoops. Chester McLaughlin, before the play had made contact, was he drawn offside?
91.
No,
They can't be drawn off by the voice. As you can see, watch John Elway. He is not calling out signals. Chester just trying to get that jump to fire through that gap. Jumps all sides. That's a big play. Penalties have been killing the Raiders all year, and today a couple bad ones that they had a turnover, lost that, and this one right here.
It's their 5th penalty today, and they've been the league leader the last 2 seasons, and were 2nd behind Detroit coming into this game. But the Lions had only 6 yesterday in their game, and already 5 for the Raiders, who very likely will capture the title again.
Well, coming into this season, the one thing they wanted to improve on, less penalties. They wanted less penalties. They have not conquered that. That's one of the reasons why they've lost some close games. Penalties at the wrong time.
A measure after the penalty, and they're not even close. A full yard on 3rd and 1. But that's a lot more palatable than 3rd and 6 for Elway.
The only time that I know that the penalty is at the right time is when the quarterback's standing back there and a lineman grabs the guy and holds him because he's going to kill the quarterback. Now that's a good penalty. People keep saying, well, they're bad penalties. Well, they're all bad except for that one. That one's a good one to save the quarterback. I did that for your benefit.
Man who was sacked more than anyone in the history of the league except one. Hand off to Craver, and he has the 1st down and plows all the way to the 1-yard line. What a push from the left side of the line. Schlereth and Zimmerman and nailing the center.
And Gary Downs, I'll tell you, number 45, Gary Downs gets in behind all of this mess, and he's the guy that's pushing. Look at Downs. Look at this. He's just pushing and pushing, and gets Craver down to the 1-yard line.
So 4 shots for the Broncos from inside the 1. Craver now with 63 yards rushing, an average of 7 yards per carry. It's Craver. He's earned it. He's got it. So the fumble by Napoleon Kaufman becomes a quick touchdown, and the lead shifts to Denver.
Well, Mike Shanahan has said one thing that he thought his Denver Bronco team has done is gotten tougher, and And this running game is just proof of that. They are tough in short yardage situations, able to run the football really this year in any situation. And Craver blowing his way over for 1 yard out.
Disappointment, of course, from Napoleon Kaufman, hoping the defense might at least hold Denver to a field goal as Elam in for the extra point.
Very quiet here, Dick.
14-7 as Aaron Craver's 5th touchdown rushing of the season gives the Broncos the lead. Must game for the Oakland Raiders to go to the playoffs. The Broncos 14-7. Broncos want to finish 500. Mike Shanahan in his first year wants a non-losing record, but 8-8 won't get them in the playoffs. 8-8 won't get the Raiders in the playoffs, but 8-8 will get Miami in, even if they lose in St. Louis, as Rocket Ismail finally gets the ball out of bounds at the 16-yard line. And Ismail has been one of the disappointments for the Raiders this year. He's not caught a lot of passes, and he's had some troubles. And here's another.
Lack of concentration. Here's another guy. If you look at him, he's looking at the guys coming down the field, not looking at the ball. The same thing that happened to Kaufman on the fumble. Watch Kaufman's head. Watch Kaufman's head here. He's looking at the blocker, not looking at the ball. And you've got to look at the football. That cost him.
That was at the 15-yard line, and then from the 1, Aaron Craver socks it in for Denver. And the Broncos lead 14-7 with 8 minutes, 16 seconds left in this first half. Harvey Williams back to the ground, and a solid hit from Steve Atwater. Boy, that Atwater, he does have a special tackling style. When he hits a man, they're down.
You know, when you take a look at what Atwater does now, Phil addressed the offense, and Mike Shanahan and Elway are pretty happy with the offense. Here's where their problem is, their defense. They've got to go out and really bolster this defense. They need a pass rusher, which they really don't have, and they need some other help. I think their corners are doing fine, their secondary, but they need some linebacker and lineman help.
Williams again on 2nd down for the 25-yard line, and he'll be just shy of a first down. They would have. Let's see where they mark it. And flags go down as
there's a penalty.
This was to be expected. We saw plenty of it in their first meeting up in Mile High Stadium.
Yeah, but this, I'm going to tell you something. You hit a guy here, and Ismail there. I mean, this can get you thrown out of the ball game. This is dumb. I mean,
well, I'm sure Rocket is a little frustrated because he fumbled that kickoff, and right there you see Ray Crockett pulling him down.
That's a hockey move.
Offsetting fouls after the play was over. The down count.
I don't know if Ray Crockett, who went to Baylor, is a big hockey fan, but he must have watched a few games.
Oh, he took the jersey right off of him. That's the first time I've ever seen that.
No, but that's what's so embarrassing. You got your jersey over your head, you can't see anything, and you're swinging to someone, you don't know who you're swinging at. Oh, that's funny.
He thought he'd run into Marty McSorley or something.
You know, I asked the officials after the game here, because we've seen it so many times, Dick, where the guy grab, you know, they stand there fighting or whatever they're doing, they grab each other's face masks. And they said if in fact they're just holding on to the face mask, they will not throw a flag on it. If a guy turns a guy's neck and he does something with it, then they will throw the flag. But if two players are standing there with their hands on the face mask, that's nothing. It's easy for them to say, but it's nothing.
Yeah, they make the first down as that spot was just across the 25-yard line, and with 7.5 minutes to go. You see that Denver here in the quarter is dominated play. Ben Sevens, second quarterback used by Mike White. Evans out of the backfield to Williams. Nice open field tackle from Lionel Washington, sticking his head right into the ball carrier. And you have to admire the courage of this man. Washington playing this week after what was thought to be a very severe injury a week ago.
Well, he goes out here and watch what he does with his head. This is the thing that's amazing. He'll stick his head in, and that's where he got hurt last week. Look at that. Boom. He puts it right in. Yeah.
Well, he certainly didn't want to say, I'm sitting on the sidelines against my teammates of the last few years, the Raiders. That was plenty of motivation for him. On second down, Williams finds a big hole off the right side and a first down at the 40. Gogan and Skrepanak on the right side, opening a big gaping hole in the Denver line. 47 yards now for Williams rushing.
Well, look at the right guard and right tackle right there for the Raiders, opening up that big hole. Derek Finner coming in, filling in, blocking the middle linebacker. And we've been out here 3 weeks in the last 4 to watch the Raiders, and that's the first time I've seen a big hole for a running back.
We've been out here so much I have an apartment here.
You even know how to spell Alameda.
Not yet.
Williams again for about the 3 to the 43. Glenn Cadrez and Alan Aldridge in on the stop, along with Harold Hasselbeck.
Now, see, I kind of like what the Raiders are doing. They're only down by 7 points. But they found out one thing. They can run the football against this team. Why not? Go ahead. You don't have to put the ball in the air. And if you are, that short passes that Evans just threw coming out of the backfield to Williams, that's a safe play to make. Don't get yourself in trouble.
Former Arizona coach Joe Bugle. Some feel he'll be a head coach somewhere next year. Some have even hinted here in Oakland. No one in the backfield now as Tim Brown shifts out. Evans over the middle to Brown. And Wyman makes the tackle at the 48-yard line, short of the first down. Call it the 49.
Interesting formation, huh?
Yeah, interesting formation in a good way. There you see Tim Brown to the right. Just another way, another formation to get the ball into the hands of your best player, and that's Tim Brown right there. And what they're hoping to do, get a short pass to him and let him break a long one, which is something he does quite often.
What the Pittsburgh Steelers have done to the National Football League. We're seeing 5 wides all over the joint.
Brown, who had 81 catches to match his number at the start today, had 2 more today. Into the center of the line goes Williams, and good defensive thrust from the Broncos. Deny the first down. That'll be spotted on the Raider half of the 50.
You know, the Raiders, you've got to go for it. They don't make this here, and I know they're going to be about a half a yard shy, but you have to go for it. I mean, you've got to have some positive things going for your football team. If you cannot get a half a yard, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, but they just needed a half yard on that play and didn't get it. And Mike White has to think, do you want to risk giving the Broncos the ball at midfield here with a whole half to play?
That's right. Cowboys couldn't get a half yard.
Yeah.
Twice.
They're going to go for it, I'll tell you. They didn't make it. That's number 1.
Well, I know that you're always right on these, so we'll take that one.
See, I'm not perfect, but I have never made a mistake.
Not on those.
No. Now they're gonna punt it. No, I can't believe this.
Gossett started on the field and comes back out. Mike White's team has not been the most successful in the league converting 4th down. And in fact, they are 5th worst in the league. Arizona only making 5 of 12. Boy, this could be a very critical play in the course of the entire season for the Raiders. Williams dives. It's going to be close.
Boy, I'll tell you what, and I'm telling you, I don't think he makes it. They've got to get over almost to the midfield stripe. There's a black line that goes down there. They have to get to that black line. And if they didn't make it to there, they didn't make the first down.
With 4:07 left, the spot, and they put the ball right on the 50-yard line. Britt Hager appeared to be the linebacker who shot midair to deny Williams.
Look at Atwater. Atwater, they're not listening to you, Steve. So take 27 and move it out of the way.
2 shots to try to get a yard for Mike White's Raiders. Appear to be identical plays. Well, the nose of the ball does touch the black stripe. So you want to commit yourself here, Paul? Did they make it or not?
I think they make it. Boy, I hope I'm not wrong. Got to get to the black line, and they got there.
They got there.
A big first down.
Wow. I mean, you talk about a half. They had to get a half yard. That's all they got.
It's a power play inside, and right there you can see Brett Hager, the linebacker, coming around to the backside and making the tackle. And the Denver defense, Coach Robinson, the defensive coordinator, he thinks they stopped them, and
I think he's arguing about the spot there.
It was a good spot.
So with 3:50 left in the half, the Raiders continue their drive. Evans. Complete to Tim Brown. 15 yards to the 35.
Right there, we saw the strength of Vince Evans' arms, and I think that's the best thing he does as a quarterback. And look at Billy Joe. He knows that was a heck of a throw by Vince Evans, and it's into basically double coverage of what makes it work. Tim Brown gets between the corner, Lionel Washington, safety, and Vince Evans throws it so hard, the safety, Steve Atwater, cannot get over there in time to break up the play.
Yeah, the former Heisman winner at Notre Dame now has 400 career catches. Williams seemed to be slipping from the time he took the handoff and kind of submarines his way for 4. Hager and Atwater make the tackle.
This is a tough place to run the football because all you're doing, all it is out there in the middle of this field is loose dirt. You can take a look at this. I mean, there's just hunks of stuff coming up. That's toward the sideline now. In the middle of the field, that's just painted.
It looks like your front yard in golf season, doesn't it?
Oh, I'm telling you now, no.
Don't you take good divots?
My own yard, I don't. I go next door.
2nd down and 6. Evans scrambles out of trouble and finds Brown, a first down at the 20.
Excellent job by Vince Evans right there. We just said one of his probably his biggest strength is throwing it down the field, but his second is, even though he's 40 years old and Billy Joe Holbert's 24, this is the mobile quarterback of the two, and right here he doesn't like what he sees to the left. He scrambles out and does a good job of finding the receiver down the field.
You see Scrapanek, the right tackle holding. It was unbelievable.
So Evans 4 for 4 on this drive. The 2-minute warning.
Holding number 78. Watch on the screen here. Not here, not here. We're going to freeze it for you. Right there is Scrapanek. Now see on Hasselbeck, he's got him by the that holding, and there's 2 officials standing right there.
Incidental holding.
He's got his fingerprints all over the guy.
Brown with the catch, his 4th of the game. First down for the Raiders at the 20 of the Broncos, trying to drive it into the end zone and tie it up. Final 2 minutes of the half.
Checking off against the blitz right here.
And he ran out of time, and that'll cost the Raiders 5.
Delay of the game. Offense. Yard penalty. First down.
You can see the anger in Joe Bugle. Clearly changes your play call now. 1st and 15.
I think Joe Bugle's mad right there that he was trying to check off and whatever the play was, and Joe's still upset over it. He wanted to run it no matter if the Denver Bronco defense was blitzing.
Run the play.
After a whole timeout for the 2-minute warning, give to Williams trying to cross up the Broncos. A run on a pass situation. They get only a couple.
I can tell you the way the Denver Broncos are sitting in there because the Raiders have had some success in this drive running the football. To run a bootleg right now would be unbelievable. And Vince Evans will be standing out there all by himself, throwing to whomever he wants to throw to. Run a bootleg, Joe.
Well, Joe Gibbs back in the studio knows well the talents of Joe Bugle as a coach, and many do feel he'll be a head man again very soon. Clock running, 1:38. The Raiders have all 3 timeouts left. Evans underneath to the tight end. The man who refuses to take a credit card with him, Kerry Cash. It's to the 10-yard line, and time called. Perhaps for a measurement, yes.
I was wondering where you were going with that. He doesn't like a credit card, but here's a good example. The Denver Bronco defense spread out by the formation of the Raiders, and Kerry Cash inside wide open. Only a linebacker trying to cover him, and it's hard to cover a tight end down the field just with a linebacker.
How long have you been thinking about that?
Yeah.
Come on, be honest with me.
Well, I did think about it a couple of minutes ago. See, I saved you there. You didn't know if it was going to be a first down or not, and I distracted you. Just short. 3rd down. Grinder coming up at halftime. We'll be sending you to our New York studios. Greg Gumbel, Mike Ditka, Joe Gibbs sort out the entire playoff picture for you. It's all coming into focus on this final week of the regular season. That's coming up at halftime. Here it's simple. Raiders win. They continue in the playoffs. They lose. Miami benefits whether they win or lose. 3rd and short. Evans gets away from the pressure. Throws incomplete Atwater, and he almost intercepted it. So on 3rd and short, they go to a rollout pass, and it was Jeff Robinson who penetrated and forced Evans off his plan.
But Evans knows he needs a first down. All he has to do is the first down marker. To make this throw into the corner, where the short corner, he just really has no chance of getting it there.
Well, I don't know if he could have ran for the first down, Paul, but they threw the ball right there, trying to get a quick, easy score, because the coaches had already made their minds up. We're going to go for it on 4th down if we don't complete this pass.
So 4th and inches again. They made it at midfield. Forsake the 3. Evans on the sneak has the first down to the 9. Clock stopped at 1. And that'll be the Raiders' first time out. It's not been easy, this long drive for Mike White's Raiders. 2 conversions on 4th and inches. 1st and goal.
First down after Evans got the first down. Watch on the right of the screen. Watch Billy Joe come in now. Does he want to call timeout? All right, I want to call timeout. Does the coach want timeout? I do. Do I? Wait. Do I? Wait. Do I want? No. Well, maybe. Do you want it? Okay.
1st and goal. This is a 7.5-minute drive, 16th play that started back at the 16 of the Raiders. Evans to Fenner, breaks the tackle, breaks another, touchdown! Seattle Seahawk Derek Fenner played with the Bengals and came here as an unrestricted free agent. Takes the short pass and creates a touchdown with his running. And now Jeff Jager on to try the extra point to tie it up. 14 all. What a drive. 84 yards in 16 plays. They're even again.
Fenner, a 240-pound fullback, nice spin move, and you can't stop him from a yard out.
Mike White has seen both of his quarterbacks produce. Hobart hit Hobbs, first touchdown. And now it's Evans to Fenner. And Mike Shanahan, body doesn't help on the missed tackle.
Well, that's a classic example of Braxton not getting himself in a football position to make the stop. That's his main job, stop the receiver.
A low skidding kick. And it's Rod Smith. Ducks out of bounds at the 36-yard line with 52 seconds remaining in the half.
Ron Smith.
So John Elway, nothing to lose for the Broncos. This is simply from Mike Shanahan's mouth. He said, I told my team, we're probably not going to make the playoffs anyway. It's just long shot this week. We're in here to try to not have a losing season, go 8-8 and beat the Raiders and finish the season with a victory. So we got that to think about all season long.
But he just told Elway, he said, Elway, you got 52 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. You know how many games he with? All right, you're in the 4th quarter, Elway, go.
Well, for this offense, 52 seconds is plenty of time for them to at least get into field goal range.
They have 2 timeouts. Open is Mike Pritchard and a first down at the 6-yard line, and Elway will spend one of the timeouts right now. 44 seconds left on the clock. Well, the double teaming of the Raiders, double teaming their quarterbacks, Evans and Hobart, even making sure he's dressed right.
That's right. Well, you know, Friday got to talk to both quarterbacks, and they were convinced this was going to be the best thing for the football team. And you know, you find it surprising because most people think that the platoon system, 2 different not work, but I think this situation, it was a perfect remedy for this offense.
You didn't like it, did you? I mean, frankly, did you like the idea that you might have to share with another quarterback?
Not as I got older, but I think in this situation with a young quarterback like Billy Joe Hobart and Vince Evans, who's basically been a backup his whole career, I think he prefers coming off the bench, so it's worked well for both of them.
He won't even share the telestrator with me. Yeah, I mean, this guy does not share. But you know the good thing about this? Now, Billy Joe can sit on the sidelines, and he's going to play again in the game, but he can look and observe what's going on and get a feel for watching Vince Evans.
I like the spirit of the young guy, Hobart. I like his attitude. Elway, master of over 40,000 yards passing, and he hits McCaffrey deep at the 30-yard line. How did that ball get through 2 Raiders?
McCaffrey's hurt. He got hit on the hip, and Anderson also got hurt. Eddie Anderson is on the ground. I mean, that was a collision. I cannot believe McCaffrey held onto the football.
That's right.
McCaffrey's not exactly muscular at 6'5" and about 210.
Well, he'll get mad at that, Dick, but right here, he knows he's going to get hit, but watching Paul, you talk about it, keeps his eyes on the ball the whole time. He had to see Eddie Anderson out in front of him as he's going up to catch that ball.
Well, you know, it's one of these deals. I might as well catch it. I'm going to get hit anyway, so just hold on to the football. He gets hit. You're going to have a hip pointer tomorrow. I mean, it's going to be sore tomorrow. It's not going to be sore today. And when they get him in at halftime, you're going to have to put some ice on it. But that's a great shaking his head. Like, what?
Eddie McCaffrey makes
Elway shotgun. 3 wide receivers and 2 running backs. And it's Craver. That didn't fool the Raiders at all. Of course, that's will force Elway to have to hurry him back. Bruce and McLaughlin make the tackle. Clock running, 15-14. Elway just going to quickly down the ball.
The Raiders won't let him up. They won't let Craver up off the ground, and that's what the problem is.
Clock still running, and finally Elway has to.
I don't understand why they didn't call time before.
See, I don't understand why the officials didn't stop the clock, because they were holding Craver on the ground. When they were doing that purposely, the officials should step in and call time. That's what Elway's talking to. He's talking to him now about it. Bob McElwee, here they are on the ground. Now, they're standing there. McElwee
always takes longer in game situations than it does in practice.
45 yards by Elam. It is good. A flag is down. Elam just did one through.
But that flag is down the field now. Well, the Raiders, hold on. 2?
Raiders may have had too many on the field.
They've got 12, that's all.
12 men on the defense. That penalty declined, and the field goal is good.
You know the bad part about that? Nolan Harrison is the guy that runs on the field as the 12th man, and he was late getting there, number 74.
And had this kick not been good, and for a moment it looked as if it was going to, it hits the upright, high upright, and slaps through. At the half, the Broncos have the lead. We go to New York and the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC. Halftime report, Greg Gumbel. Quarter possessions leading the Oakland Raiders on this day before Christmas. And you know who's been naughty or nice in this group.
Yeah.
You know that. And we hope you and yours enjoy the best of holidays and are able to celebrate with the special people in your lives. And for Oakland, it's not Christmas they're thinking about. It's this chance to go to the playoffs. How close, but yet maybe how far.
Well, it's in their hands after 5 losses. But the thing about it is they got to face Elway.
Well, that's hurting them. Anytime you're in this type of situation, I think the one quarterback in offense you wouldn't want to face is Denver's, because they don't need emotion for this spread offense and for John Elway to throw it down the field. But for the Raiders, the one big positive, if they do get in the playoffs, I think they found a system where their quarterbacks can succeed. Rotate them, keep them both loose, and they're executing, I think, very
well. It'll be up to the defense of the Oakland Raiders to stop Denver to start this second half, because the Broncos will get it first. John Elway, his blue eyes match the blue on his Denver helmet. Still very much a part of that mile-high organization. Glenn Milburn, the deep man at the 10, as Jager sends it on its way. Very short Milburn on the dead run, and the Raiders fortunate he didn't find us take that one well back. Tackle made by Dan Land. As we look at the Coors Light first half statistics, each with a turnover, each leading to problems for the other side. The fumble recovered by Denver, and the statistics almost as even as the score. Short punt by Tom Ruin led to a Raider 35-yard scoring march. Again, playing basically without a tight end today, the Broncos. They come out 3 wide and 2 running backs. And Elway from the shotgun. Elway blocked by Andre Bruce.
Man, was that an unusual defense? They had 9 guys up on the line of scrimmage, the Raiders. Look at this, Phil. There's 9 guys up on the line of scrimmage, and they're all coming. And Bruce just gets his knocks it down.
You're right. The Broncos had the perfect play on there. A little screen to the right against the blitz, and a good job by the Raider defense of knocking the ball down, preventing the big play.
That snapped Elway's consecutive completion streak at 8. Over the middle, wide open. McCaffrey gets a block from and then fumbles the ball. Picked up by the Raiders. Albert Lewis, and Lewis is to the 6-yard line. Oh my! Joe King, his hit forced the ball free from McCaffrey, and veteran Albert Lewis, who has criticized his teammates for lack of character, scoops it up.
Phil, McCaffrey really doesn't have to make something happen. Just take the ball now, turn it upfield, and get what you can. Now he's just trying to stretch it out, do something. King comes in, knocks the ball away. Albert Lewis is there. McCaffrey's trying to make something happen. He doesn't have to. Elway will make it happen.
Something we've seen twice today. The Raider defensive backs, when they're going for the tackle with the hand behind, they come up from behind and knock the ball loose.
Hobart starts the second half and hands off to Williams. Tyrone Braxton fills the hole, a gain of maybe 2 to the 4. Well, McCaffrey, who's made some tough catches today, trying to get a bit too much out of that last effort. And King the fumble, and Lewis is there to pick up the loose ball. 2nd and goal from the 4.
This thing started with a bang, didn't it?
Derek Fenner, the lone running back. Williams slotted left, and Ismail in motion. Hobart to Brown. Touchdown! Flag down, but I believe against the defense, that one will count.
Pass interference, 39 defense. A penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Billy Joe Hobart has given the Raiders the lead on his throw to Tim Brown. Brown's 9th touchdown reception of the year. Point after attempt. High snap, but he drills it through, staggering as he made his kick.
Well, Tim Brown on the backside of the formation has single coverage. Billy Joe Hobart does a good job of finding him.
In a minute and 5 seconds, the Raiders strike, forcing the fumble, and 2 plays later, the touchdown to Tim Brown. 21-17 Oakland. Yeager hits this one well. Milburn at the 11. Not much of the same. He's toppled at the 26-yard line, claiming that he went down by his own loose footing and not by contact, but the officials have whistled it dead.
All right, here's Elway to McCaffrey, and just trying to get a little bit more, but watch the hand of King. Come up in behind and knock the ball out. Albert Lewis picks it up. This sets up the touchdown.
And on the touchdown, look here. Here's Tim Brown, Ray Crockett, and what's the defense? Nobody on the right side. Billy Joe Hobart makes a good decision. Look at that. Tim Brown has that whole right side to work with. Easy touchdown.
And this crowd and Vince Evans and the Raiders, not too many sitting down at this point. 54,000, and it is noisy. Incomplete, intended for Pritchard, covered by Bruce Pickens. And we saw yesterday underdog teams taking the lead early, but the San Diego Chargers, and what a phenomenal game by Junior Seau. And again, the New England Patriots had the lead, and the Colts came back to win.
You know, in that San Diego thing, there aren't many defensive guys that can take over a game like Junior Seau does. And he makes you say, ow.
If the Raiders win, San Diego will be hosting them next week in the playoffs. Dump off incomplete. Aaron Craver, well surrounded by Raiders.
Chester McLaughlin, you know, when this guy smells a little blood, he's going. Now, they make a move back to the outside, and here's McLaughlin. Schlereth's got him right there. He's the guy that forces Elway to step up. I don't know if that's any good, because, Phil, you and I talked about this at halftime. Every time Elway steps up into the pocket, something good happens.
3rd and 10. Blitz. Elway has to throw underneath and completes to Milburn. Beautiful move by Milburn on the sidelines, and he skips all the way to the 49-yard line.
Man, I'll tell you, I'll let you do the pass reception, but I'm going to tell you something. Those guys block it downfield. Pritchard and Anthony Miller, it's spectacular.
Watch the blitz by the Raiders right there, and there you see Glenn Milburn snuck out of the backfield to the right. There was nobody there to cover him because the Raiders expected him to stay in the backfield to pick up the blitz. He didn't. He leaked out. John Elway found him.
Look at the blocks downfield now. Pritchard gets a block. Anthony Miller gets a block. That's hustle.
And Milburn, who relegated to the bench much of the season with the play of rookie Terrell Davis. Aaron Craver plowing and carrying tacklers with him to the 47-yard line. Mike Jones and others in on the stop.
You know, it's good that the Raiders can score, but the bad part is getting the ball back to Elway.
Gain of almost 5 for Craver. 20 points the key for the Raiders this year. 8-1 when they hold the opposition under that mark. 0-6 when over 20. At the moment, 17 on the Denver side. Elway has to throw it away and throws it right to a Raider. Terry McDaniel, his 6th interception of the year.
You know, we talked to John Elway yesterday about the last 4 or 5 games forcing things to happen. Here is a situation where I think he's trying to throw the ball away and doesn't get it out of bounds far enough. Terry McDaniel is there and just makes the play on it. I mean,
Well, watch John Elway throw right here. And Mike Pritchard, watch him. He doesn't even react to the football. He thinks he's throwing it away. And if you could see a little later in the play, John Elway is staring at him, and he's upset because he was trying to complete this pass.
Watch Terry McDaniel's right leg. Does it hit the ground before he goes out of bounds? No, it does not. He's out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
I don't know, from the other view, it looked as if he might have scraped the grass top coming down. It was tough. From the 42 then. They fake the reverse, and Williams keeps, and he is down. As Michael Dean Perry not fooled, a 5-yard loss. Watch the right foot. Does it scrape the grass top? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Before it did, right back there. Yes, good call by the official, and he was very adamant.
Yeah,
the
the official sitting right up here, and he's looking at it.
And here's the man right there, number 63, who came down and made the call.
Terry McDaniel, Pro Bowler, leading the Raiders with 6 intercepted passes. The rest of the team has 5.
That's surprising with this pass rush that the Raiders have if they don't get more interceptions.
Williams on a draw, finds some running room. Only a heady tackle by Tyrone Braxton saved a big gain out to the 45.
You get caught in a blitz and you have a quick hitting play like this, you're going to get burnt. Here it is.
Well, once you get past the defensive line on a blitz like this, the only person who can make the tackle is the safety. And right here you see Tyrone Braxton coming up and making a good tackle.
3rd down, 7 for Oakland. See Miami still in the lead at St. Louis. The Dolphins really, their is dictated by the Raiders win or lose. If they win, it doesn't matter if Oakland wins. If they lose and the Raiders lose, they're in Miami. Hobart underneath and incomplete, and a flag. Crockett riding Hobbs from behind.
You know, and I don't think Hobbs had a chance of catching this ball either, because this ball was thrown way wide, and Crockett is on his back.
Defensive pass interference, number 9. Automatic first down.
Well, Ray Crockett, he doesn't know where the football is. He really has good coverage, but he reacts just a little too soon right there, and I do not think Darryl Hobbs could have got to it either, but he didn't know that, and he just reacts a second too quick and commits the foul.
Here's a better look at it, because Hobbs get there. I don't think he can, because the ball's way beyond him.
But no question about the call.
Oh, no.
Interference. First down at the 48. Fake to Williams. Hobart to Tim Brown. Touchdown! A flag is down, but I don't believe it's against Brown. It was thrown against the defender, Lionel Washington.
Holding, 48 defense, penalty of decline, touchdown.
So the Oakland Raiders force a fumble, pick off an Elway pass, and score 2 touchdowns in 4 minutes plus.
Well, good play fake by Billy Joe Hobart. It was a double move outside by Tim Brown. That's what enabled him to get past Lionel Washington for the easy touchdown. Fake the out. When he turned up, Lionel Washington lost him.
Lionel didn't have a chance. I mean, he really didn't have a chance.
Jeff Jager adds the extra point, and it's 28-17. So 2 big Denver turnovers, and Billy Joe Hobart 2 big touchdown passes. Himself up into elite. 27 years ago, Warren Wells had 600-yard receiving games, and Brown has just made easy pickings of a lot of tough cornerbacks in this league. And Billy Joe Hobart has 3 touchdown passes. Suddenly 28-17 Oakland. Milburn getting plenty of work from the 10. Got some running room out there and has some speed to use that territory all the way to the 45-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Well, I'm sorry, Dick, but the Raiders have been criticized a lot lately out in this area for not throwing the ball deep enough. They've been doing that today, and Tim Brown right there, you saw the double move. Lionel Washington tried to grab hold of him, couldn't do it. He's a big, strong receiver, and Billy Joe throws it down there for the easy touchdown.
And Hobart, as we've learned, he likes to congratulate, but he wants those footballs too.
He's filling up that room.
Tee it high and let it fly. Hobart living to his own tattoo. Up to Elway. Down the middle to Rod Smith. He's got a lot of speed. Kicking free to the 25-yard line. Fumbles, but after he was down, no fumble. Ball rolled down at the 25. McDaniel came up with it. 30-yard gain.
These receivers better understand something, that the Raiders are going for the ball. Now, he was down, Smith, but Elway throws this ball high, and great catch. Watch this by Smith. Land tried to come in and make the play. He couldn't do it. But you got to hold on to the ball. Right here, he is going to be down. There, now the ball comes out. Remember, when you're being hit, the ground can't cause a fumble. Now, if he were not hit and he fell and the ball comes out, the ground can cause a fumble.
Rod Smith had caught only 4 passes all season. Prior to today, Aaron Craver, big hole. And Craver close to 10 yards. 15-yard line before veteran Albert Lewis can make the tackle. Ripping up Sod on his way.
Well, right here's a draw play by the Denver Broncos, and what they do, they want the defensive line just to go up the field, and then it's up to the runner to pick the hole. And Aaron Craver, very impressive today, not only has the moves, but continuously shows that power running the football.
Is it my imagination, or does Elway make it look easy? I mean, just boom, boom.
This lead is not safe, Elway. That's pretty easy to say, isn't it?
I tell you.
Second and a short yard. Craver has the first down at the 12. So Denver threatens. What else is going on? Ray Gumbel in New York.
Close the Dolphins, Dick.
Greg, and hats off to Jeff Fisher's Oilers. They finished 7-9, second best record in the Central Division. Elway, incomplete to McCaffrey.
Well, they had an awful lot of guys, Phil, in the same area. McCaffrey, I mean, and is that Smith down there? I mean, they're all in one area.
They were fortunate, too, right there, Paul. Eddie McCaffrey was basically going to be double covered right there. And if John Elway would have let it and thrown it on the money, Dan Land, the safety, probably would have had a chance to intercept it.
Anthony Miller to the left. Pritchard, Smith, and McCaffrey to the right, and Faber out of the backfield. Draw to Elway himself. And the quarterback draw does not work to the 10-yard line, a play that through the years has been very effective for John Elway. Andre Bruce picking some of the Coliseum real estate out of his gear.
I mean, it really, you know, this field is a disgrace. It is one of the worst fields I've ever seen. And again, I mentioned the first half, there was no money allocated to do anything with the field. They're going to build a new stadium around this thing, but no field.
On 3rd and 7, Elway wants time to talk it over, doesn't it?
Looks like an old ant farm. look at, they're all over the place. That's down by the end zone, I believe.
It's all the more remarkable the players perform at such a high level, considering that there isn't much footing.
I can't. Well, at least the one thing the fans can't get it to throw sod at them.
Good point.
3rd down and 7 inside the 10. Incomplete, intended for Mike Pritchard, and a flag down. And the Raiders appealing.
The headlinesman Tony Viteri, number 52 on your program, is the guy that throws this in. His father used to be a referee or an official in the old AFL when I played.
Yes, Tony Viteri. He was.
That's the son.
Is that right? He's, I believe, in a capacity of an officiating counselor. The way the season has gone, they need to all go off for about a week and really talk things over. The officials, it's been a difficult season for them.
See, what I don't understand.
No foul. Incomplete pass. No foul. Incomplete.
See, I'll tell you, here's what I don't understand about this play. Now, Viteri throws the flag, right?
Yes.
And then they talk him out of it. He's had to see something, and that's why he threw the flag.
Well, talk him out of it, Paul. That is one reason they have these conferences. And what they want to do, are you sure? If there's any doubt, then they can pick up the flag, and that must be the case right there. There was some doubt in his mind. Enough of the other guys saw it, did not see what he saw, so they pick up the flag.
Hold it. If he had doubt, why'd he throw it?
Jason Elam, a 27-yard attempt. And the bad snap, and the kick is wide left. And everything going the Raider way now. You're watching the NFL on NBC. And it was a good job by Tom Ruin, the holder. Elam missed it.
Just hooked it.
So it remains 28-17. The Raiders with 2 touchdowns. Oh, I hope his presents under the tree are more tightly wrapped. Oh. But first down to Williams. And this is a point where, with all the momentum on the Raiders side and the emotion and the motivation and the prize at the end, this is where the Broncos will be truly tested whether or not they can stay in this game.
Well, there's no question that their offense is intact, the Denver Broncos, but their defense has been questionable all year long. They need some strong help there.
2nd down and 1. Hobart remains under center. 3 touchdown passes for the young man. Williams. And he's just across the 30 and to the 32 for a first down. So since the half, a couple of turnovers, 2 quick touchdowns, and then a drive of their own.
A gain of 4 yards to the 33.
We just want to show Equal presentation on NBC Sports. We show Al Davis when he's winning as well.
Well, he should be happy today. He has seen the Raider long ball come back today. So that, no, Paul?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, yes, I understand. When the game's over, they'll be happy if they win.
First down, 6:23 left in the third. Tipped, but still completed to Fenner, and Braxton gets him this time at the 31 and a loss. Hasselback was the man who got a hand on it for Denver.
Dick, this is the difference of Braxton. When Fenner caught the touchdown before and ran through him, he wasn't set. This time, watch what Braxton does. Number 34. He gets himself in a football position to make the play. No gain and a loss on the play.
From the 31.
-2, second down and 12.
Yeah, I don't understand the reaction. Billy, what do you want to happen?
Well, yeah, I know. Billy Joe Hobart, though, he's funny. He told us that after practice the other day, he threw 3 interceptions in his start against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he goes, you know, that's not me. I didn't get upset or throw my helmet or anything after any of those interceptions. I'm not going to act like that today.
Williams skips outside, and Braxton makes the tackle at the 4-yard line. What did he tell you that he, Billy Joe says he even cuts his own hair, huh? Save the money?
Yeah, that's right. I asked him about his haircut because he came walking over to us, and I looked at it and I said, boy, you got a haircut. It's because it's down to the scalp. And he says, oh, I did it myself. And I said, really? Didn't want to pay for it? And he goes, well, why should I pay for a haircut like this? And it's a good point.
Yeah, I'm leaving the hair deal alone.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You can talk. You got hair. I don't.
Third down and 9. Brown is the slot on the left. Hobart's looking for him. There he is. First down at the Denver 48.
I'm going to tell you something. Tim Brown just made a magnificent move on Crockett. He got him back to the inside. Watch the move that Tim Brown makes coming downfield. Here he comes. Where does he think he's going? Inside? Wrong. Look at Crockett. Throws him outside, or inside, and came right back outside, made the catch for the. Takes beautiful.
That's right. Takes patience by the quarterback to wait, but also, Paul, it really takes a good job by your offensive line to give Billy Joe Hobart time to throw it down the field.
Brown had 89 catches last year. That was his 88th this season. Napoleon Kaufman takes the handoff, and Michael Dean Perry was waiting, and it ruled down. No fumble. Braxton covers it for Denver, but no fumble. Robinson, the defensive coordinator, battling for his troops.
Michael Dean. This is the second time he's tackled him for a loss in the backfield. Michael Dean, look at the spin move he makes. The Turk to center just makes a quick spin move back to the inside and a 3-yard loss. Michael Dean.
I bet his brother, the Refridge, is watching down in Aiken, South Carolina. Derek Fenner in the backfield on second down and 13. James Jett almost intercepted by Crockett. That was for 6.
That want to talk about turning the game around?
Boy, would that ever. And I tell you, this is an excellent job by Ray Crockett. Watch him coming across. What happens is he's looking back into the backfield. He sees the short drop. He knows he has James Jett, and so he reacts on the ball. And Billy Joe's very fortunate it was not returned for a touchdown.
Thank you.
It's incredible. The Denver cornerbacks now in their 20th consecutive game without an interception. Haven't picked one off in 20 games.
You know, we were talking about that yesterday. It's the most amazing thing. I don't know if 20 games, folks. That goes all the way back into last year that they didn't pick off the pass.
Michael Dean harassing Hobart, who gets it off to Fenner. Flag down, and Fenner bumped out of bounds at the 48, far short of the first down.
We got some major holding. Gerald Perry, I think is the guy.
Is that more than 10 yards?
No,
that major?
That's a major holding.
The Broncos may decline, however, in that it would be about 4th and 10.
Holding. Number 71, offense. That penalty will be declined. 4th down.
Gerald Perry.
Yeah, that's holding. Watch this. Number 71.
Making his second start, and right there you can see he's in trouble right off the start. Shane Dronette gets to the inside, so when that happens to an offensive tackle, usually they will. Paul, that might be a good hold. He kept the defensive lineman off the quarterback.
Yeah, you've got quarterbacks. They're only down. They're down to 2 now.
They did sign Jeff Graham, who was an emergency quarterback this past week. And in case you just haven't been in tune with what's been happening in the NFL, Jeff Hostetler was major surgery conducted this past week. And if the Raiders do advance, it will be without Hostetler in the playoffs. He will not play. It's the first effort for Gossett in his 200th NFL game since the first quarter. Sends one sidelines, good looking kick, and he plants it out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Timeout, 3:07 left in the third. To Bobby Ross's Chargers and Ted Marchibroda and the Colts, and now they all wait for what happens next week. The Raiders really came out gunning here in the third.
Well, you know, but again, we keep talking about this. You still have Elway to contend with, and the offense of Denver is very good. The defense has not played very well.
No, it hadn't. I think this is getting to be the time of the game where the Denver Broncos saying to themselves, well, we know we're not going to the playoffs. Why are we playing so hard? And you kind of saw the same scenario with the San Diego Chargers and the Indianapolis Colts yesterday. So let's see if Denver can hang in here and still keep driving forward.
Elway under pressure from Swilling has to scramble out of there and dives to the 15. A gain of almost 3. Elway, who is in the top 5 all-time quarterbacks in rushing yards.
Pat Swilling, designated pass rusher. Coming upfield, going to move, forces Elway up. Again, Phil, we talk about every time he does step up, Elway, I don't know if that's the smart thing to do. I would rather have him running to his left or right than have him going forward.
Eddie Anderson, who was injured in the first half, has returned. 2nd down and 7. To McCaffrey. Boy, Bruce Pickens took a running charge at him. James Trapp makes the tackle.
You know, Elway throws the ball so hard. I remember a couple of years ago I went down there. You know that machine that they used to
the gun machine?
Yeah, the gun machine that throws the balls for punts and kickoffs. The receivers at Denver stand in front of this thing, and they, I'm not kidding you.
Yes, that's right.
And they fire this thing right at the guys that catch the ball, because that's how Elway throws it short.
You sure you're not talking to Bob Uecker?
No.
That sounds like something he'd create.
I'm telling you, it's true.
First down on the play. To the sidelines, and wide open Pritchard takes it back inside for what appears to be close to another first down. Dozen, in fact, on the play before Terry McDaniel and Pickens can make the stop.
And Elway, you know, he said he wanted his father to tell him if he lost anything. Do you think he's lost anything at all?
Well, I think that really in the last couple years, he doesn't quite have as strong as arm as he used to, but I think that's good. He's become a better passer, puts better touch on the football, and you do not see receivers letting the ball hit their hands and pop up in the air like they used to in the past.
The only thing is those 5 knee surgeries on the left knee have slowed him down a little. Doesn't scramble quite the same way. Underneath, hit immediately. Terry McDaniel, the ball is down. Pritchard, no, now they're going to say incomplete the pass at the 39.
Well, there's a classic example of how fast the ball gets there when he threw this thing to Pritchard. Pritchard was covered. He gets the ball there. Jerry Ball's walking off the side, says, I got to get some rest. I mean,
well, you know, Pat Swilling is not a big defensive end. He's just a pass rusher. He really uses speed most of the time, but right there you see Broderick Thompson gets caught because even though he is a speed rusher, he does come at you with that bull rush. It catches you off guard, and he's able to push the quarterback out of the pocket.
He led the league 91 with 17.5 sacks, and this is best year since with 13. On 2nd and 10. Down the middle, and McCaffrey all alone. Look at him protect the ball as he goes to the 45.
That way, Eddie.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. He's going to do some running. Then he thought, when I got the ball, I'm going to run. I got some room. Well, wait a minute. First of all, I'm going to hold on to the football. I mean, you talk about gunning this thing.
Well, it's a good job of the offensive line of the Denver Broncos, giving him that extra second to step up. And when you let John Elway step up, he is going to throw it on a line and on target. Look at that hole inside to Eddie McCaffrey, and the Denver Broncos now got all those receivers cross underneath, and it's causing some confusion for the Oakland Raiders.
7 catches for McCaffrey today. Milburn looking for a block. Nothing there. Andre Bruce spoiled the fun for the Broncos.
Dick, yesterday we had an opportunity to sit and talk with Gary. And you know, we're going to get into the quarter. We'll get to this in the fourth quarter. But there is a very interesting story, and I just watched him block, and he's only blocking with his left arm.
He has ripped the tendon off the bicep and has been playing 4 weeks with that injury. We'll have to have it repaired in the offseason. Then he'll decide whether he'll play next year. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. The Raiders lead at 28-17. Tyrone Braxton and the Broncos. Plenty of spirit left as Elway at the 40 of Oakland. 2nd and 8. They pick up the blitz. Elway dumps it off wide open. Craver all alone. And Craver takes it to the 20-yard line. Dan Land makes the tackle. 23 yards on the play.
You know what Craver did? He goes out and got Nolan Harrison, and he hits him. And then Harrison sees Elway out by himself. Talk about catch-22. C-74, there's Craver blocking him. Now watch. When he leaves Craver, there's nobody out there to cover him. He goes for the quarterback. That's it. What a great play.
The playoffs for next week are all set. When we get a break, we'll show you exactly the lineup for Saturday and Sunday. As the handoff to Craver. And he has 10. He has 11 yards. And it'll be first and goal for the Broncos at the 9-yard line.
Well, you're the Oakland Raider defense. What do? You rush the quarterback. You try to get to the passer. Elway's in the shotgun. Oh, now it's a draw, and you've got the defenders running everywhere, and Aaron breaking the tackles, running through there, and it's just tough for a defense. And we sit up here, Mike Shanahan and his offense, they don't repeat plays. He just puts out a new one every time, and they keep the pressure on you.
Solid day for Aaron Craver, maybe his best as a pro. He had a couple of moments in Miami. He gets the same call, and this time the Raiders, having gone to school, Chester McLaughlin and Mike Jones stuff it for a little gain.
Here's where Elway does. They gave it to Craver there. All right, now Elway probably will they run it off the same motion of fake the Craver now and then get him outside.
Well, sometimes I think they run those plays just to let John catch his breath before he does some more magic. So I really believe that sometimes you do stick a run in there just to let Elway and the offensive linemen to settle down before they go back on the attack again.
McCaffrey at the end of the end zone, unable to get there. And Chester McLaughlin really putting the pressure on Elway.
We're talking about Zimmerman, and here we got him on with Pat Swilling. And Zimmerman, I'll let you tell the story, but this guy is a great story himself. Here he is now blocking on Pat Swilling. Just keeps him to the outside, does a great job with one arm.
Yeah, it's amazing. Here he goes to the Pro Bowl. He said, I'll play. Boy, oh boy, with all the pain, he says it's not till Saturday he finally almost feels good. And out there playing at a Pro Bowl left tackle, the toughest position maybe on offense. Elway deep in the end zone, incomplete to Miller. Miller would have had a touchdown. He had Anderson's back to the play, but couldn't pull it down.
Excellent job of anticipation by John Elway. The defenders' backs are to the receiver, and he anticipates and just lays it up nice and soft in the back of the end zone. Anthony Miller get up, actually had the ball go through his hands.
He can't believe it. Anthony Miller, I mean, this ball hits him in the hand.
That is a good job by John Elway. Eddie Anderson never turned around, threw it right over the top of his head.
Elam missed from 27, earlier makes from 27. And that earlier miss certainly changes the character of the game. 8-point difference. We mentioned earlier when the Raiders have allowed 20 points, they are 0-6, and that was the 20th point on his field goal. But still an 8-point advantage for Billy Joe Hobart. That's not a bad haircut.
You know, it really is. That's pretty good. When you give it to yourself, I was just admiring it right now. And not bad, Paul.
Saved about 20 bucks.
The price is right, too. That's right, free.
Elam very short on the kick, and the rocket at the 18, and gets it almost to the 35-yard line. So here's the lineup for the first round of the playoffs. The wild cards next Saturday on ABC. It'll be Indianapolis or Miami at Buffalo. Detroit will play in Philadelphia, and then Sunday Atlanta at Green Bay early. In our game, it'll be Oakland or Indianapolis at San Diego. Obviously, if Oakland wins, they're at San Diego. If they lose, then it will be Indianapolis at San Diego, and Miami would be in Buffalo. So Miami is helpless. They are winning in St. Louis, but it all depends on what the Raiders do. If the Raiders, Miami's in regardless if they win or lose. Hobert to Brown, who seems to be always open to the 42-yard line. In many ways, the Bay Area is really blessed, aren't they? They've got Jerry Rice on one side of the Bay Bridge, and on this side they have Tim Brown, and each man always seems to be open.
Good point. I mean, two of the best receivers in football are right here together, and Tim Brown every year seems to come in, and regardless of how this offense goes, even if it struggles, he still gets his catches and yards. He's the one consistent thing about the Raider offense.
Plays every single down.
Second and short. Fake to Harvey Williams, looking for Brown deep, and he has to throw it away. Lionel Washington picked up Brown, who was on a streak pattern.
He's the only guy out. Brown was the only guy to throw the ball. You know, the thing about this playoff thing, it's really funny. I mean, you wonder how these records and what happens during the course of the season, how one game, because if the Raiders lose and Miami loses, Miami's in.
Right.
Okay. But if the Raiders win and Miami wins, the Raiders are in.
Well, that makes sense.
It does to Phil. He understands all that. Do you?
Do you want me to explain it to you?
No, don't even get into
I'm going
it.
to try. That's right. Let's go.
We'll let Greg Gumbel take us out of
There
that.
you go.
3rd and 4. Full blitz. Hobert has to unload, and the Broncos pressure from Ray Crockett. The incomplete throw.
Good job by the Denver Bronco defense. Look here. What they have is just more defenders coming than there are blockers. Billy Joe Hobert was not really ready for the Raider offense. He has to throw the football away.
Are you surprised that in that Hobert has so little experience, game experience, that Denver hasn't thrown more at him?
Yes, I am surprised. Early in the game, it looked like they were going to blitz him, but he hit a couple big passes, and that scared the Denver Bronco defense and backed them off a little.
Is it time for Vince again? Vince again.
28-20. Oops. Denver offside, and that's going to be a very tough penalty. That's going to give the Raiders a first down. And look at the kick by Gossett, out of bounds inside the 5. Now Clifford Hicks may have been offside as well, but the Broncos were offside too. They may kick this one over. Both sides.
Illegal formation on the punting team. Offside on the receiving team. Replay it. 4th down.
Well, that's a break for Denver.
Oh, I tell you, the special teams. I mean, look at Mike Shanahan. This is crazy. You don't even think about being offside. Look at here. I mean, you're not going to get there anyway. You have no way to get to that kicker from the outside like that. If you're inside, you have a chance. And there's no reason for you to be offside. Clifford Hicks, pay attention.
Meanwhile, Jeff Cossett's brilliant punt out of bounds, 52 yards inside the 5, is negated.
More punters punt like Jeff Gossett in these situations. He hits those low line drives for the sidelines, and he does a very good job with it.
The only thing I don't like about it, he's a right-footed kicker, and he's kicking it to the right side. If you're a right-footed kicker, kick it to the left side, because even if you shank it, it goes down the middle of the field. This is down the middle.
Milburn at the 10. Good coverage by the Raiders. Well done. Darryl Hobbs, 48-yard punt, 3 on the return. Paul McGuire, it's the longest day of the year for young kids. This day just doesn't get over quickly enough.
Forget about the kids. How about me? I can't wait to open up my stuff.
Santa Claus is coming.
I got stuff, too. I got some stuff.
Will they come for Raider fans, however, as Elway goes back to work to McCaffrey, drills it to the 19-yard line. Well, Raiders and the Broncos, part of the wild, wild West. And when you speak Western, and he loves the roll.
Boy, he really does. I mean, he does love it.
2nd and 3. Underneath, juggling catch by Pritchard, and a nice little move, and another. And out to the 36-yard line. Pritchard, who showed that kind of running as a wingback at the University of Colorado in his university days. Mike Jones finally makes the stop, first down.
an excellent job of the Denver Broncos picking up the blitz. Look up top here. Here you're going to see the secondary for the Oakland Raiders. Right there, James Trapp coming in. And look at that line just picking them all up, giving John Elway that extra time to find Mike Pritchard over the middle open.
Actually, the juggle of the ball helped him to make the move on Pickens on the first down. Underneath, it goes to Byron Chamberlain, and Chamberlain has his first ever NFL catch. This rookie from Wayne State was on the practice squad most of the year.
You like Elway. They bring a guy in, he hadn't caught a ball all year. Well, let's just throw one to him.
Another first down.
Get in his chest, and you don't give him a chance. He's got to catch it.
I'll tell you, he is really sticking that ball exactly where he wants it. I mean, he's in such a rhythm right now. It's unbelievable. And that's why we had that graphic about that fourth quarter. Mr. Comeback, this guy.
Craver breaking tackles. Oh, what an effort for about 10 more. As those scores go by, a reminder, stay with us after the game. The guys in New York are going to bring you up to date on all the playoff picture, who has the home field advantages, and they're going to put the statistical leaders this year. That'll be on the NFL report after our game.
Here's Craver. Now, look at this ball. He almost fumbles it. He gets it back, gets two hands on it. Right there, he almost fumbles it again. But look at that. I mean, the continuous motion.
His first career 100-yard rushing game. Craver 102 today. Elway slips as he sets up, and the drop by Pritchard. James Trapp on the coverage celebrates what he thought was a big defensive play, but Pritchard flat out ball.
Yeah, you know, this is Trapp. This is what you're paid to cover this guy, and Pritchard wants to run before he catches the ball. Watch his head. See his head turn?
Yep.
You got to look the ball in. We were talking about it all day long in every game.
Well, James Trapp was happy he dropped it.
I like to see when a guy gets beat, you know, downfield for the touchdown. Put your hands up, especially if it's a different defense, to let us know who got beat. They don't do that.
2nd and 10 from the Raider 42. Smith on the sidelines and can't find him. Smith, as he stopped, slipped and fell, and that threw off Elway's trajectory. He tried to compensate and threw out of bounds.
That middle of the field, Phil, is just a mess. I mean, where they have that Raider insignia, that's just all dirt. There's no grass in there.
Why don't you talk about that field?
The thing is driving me nuts. When you got a professional team that's worth $180 million, you can't put a football field down there?
Well, he just came out this year. Next year it'll be better.
No, it won't.
3rd and 10. Smith, first down at the 17.
There's a good case in point right there, Dick. Nobody in front of John Elway, and he gets about 2 rhythm hops, as we would call them as quarterbacks, and he just sticks it in there to into tight coverage, really. Watch John Elway right here. Look at that lane he has to step up and throw into, and he takes a chance and goes for the deep receiver and makes an excellent throw.
That's what we said about every time that he steps up like that, something good happens.
Missouri Southern, Rod Smith, Division II product. 25 years of age on the practice squad as a project and making some big catches today. Trailing by 8. 8 minutes to go in the game, and Elway and the Broncos threaten. Craver to the 10-yard line and out of bounds at the 9. Short of the first down by 3. Albert Lewis, the tackler. The comebacks by Elway, and he spread them around. Kansas City and the Chargers have been his favorite victims, and only twice has he been able to drive the stake into the Raiders' hopes.
Well, that's one of the reasons this year he hasn't been as magical in the comebacks, and they're complaining in Denver because they're used to seeing him do it all the time, and when he fails, they get upset.
2nd and 3. Pritchard in motion. Defense looked confused on the play, and it's batted down. Chester wasn't. Big Chester McLaughlin wasn't fooled.
Well, what's kind of happening, I think this defensive line of the Oakland Raiders is starting to get a little tired. Let's watch Chester McLaughlin right here, and he's double teamed almost every single time. He says, "The heck with this." He's watching John, and boy, he almost had it intercepted, and I guess his hands are not quite as good as I thought, Paul.
He had one earlier, but nullified by penalty.
That's right, and look at him right there. You can see the of constantly trying to put pressure on the quarterback.
I can guarantee you there are no little bugs around Chester. He sucked them all in, man. This guy's going for some air.
3rd and 3. Braver. And he's going to be close to a first down at the 6-yard line.
Craver had to get inside the 6. If he gets inside the 6 where they mark the ball, he's got it. You talk about a great effort. I mean, he just keeps his legs going, a continuous effort, continuous motion, but he's got to get inside. Is he inside the 6? That's a first down.
Time called, 7:25 left in the 4th. Mike Shanahan's team playing to finish at 8-8 and force the Raiders with that same result, but more importantly deny the Raiders a playoff chance. And it is a first down. 1st and goal at the 6-yard line.
Mike Shanahan yesterday talking to us, it was interesting. He just said we're really not that far away from being a team that's up to that level that can compete for a shot in the Super Bowl.
They've been one of the leaders all year long in offense. There's no question this offense is going to compete.
It's exciting, yes, that's right.
They just need a few more defensive players. A long drive. Give it to Milburn. Tries to slash his way off that right side for a couple to the 4-yard line. Andre Bruce and Beekert with a tackle.
You think about a couple of games. The Seattle game a few weeks ago where Elway is hit. They've got the game locked. They're going in to lock up the game. He gets hit. Seattle picks up the fumble, goes for a touchdown. Kansas City, here he comes back again. They still have a chance in that ball game. He gets hit, fumbles again, another touchdown. This team, offensively, I think they're there. Defensively is where the question mark is.
Miller left and Pritchard in motion. Milburn. And surprisingly, down on the goal line to their smallest player, Glenn Milburn, 175 pounds, and he gets 2 more.
Well, it hasn't worked in these 2 plays, but that just shows you the diversity of this offense. Really, it's not always just pass, and an excellent job right there of Greg Beekert coming up, filling in the hole, and making the tackle.
Barely a half-yard gained on the play. It's 3rd and goal at the 4.
The only thing I don't like about the play selection, you're trying to run at Jerry Ball, who's the biggest guy down there, and you're not going to move him out.
And there's no in there. Elway underneath. McCaffrey, what a catch! Oh, my!
Bring on the Velcro. I mean, that was some kind of catch.
Dick, as they lined up, I knew they were going to try to run this play, and the Broncos now down 28-20, 28-26, I should say. We'll go for 2, but you could see it coming. Eddie McCaffrey in the slot, try to get him into the end zone and throw the ball there before the defender has a chance to react.
Well, what hands. Oh, wow. That's the kind of catches that made you great.
Yeah, that makes a quarterback look good. That's right.
I'll tell you what, how about the same play, Phil?
So they go for 2 and a tie. They're on their feet at the Coliseum.
It's there if you wanted to do it.
2 men in motion. And something came flying out of the stands right at the ball. Golf ball. Or something that resembles one.
That's somebody smart.
I didn't know you could get from New York to Oakland that quickly.
Yeah, there's a dumb flight. First of all, the Denver Broncos had 2 guys in motion at one time, but you're going to see.
Watch this,
coming at Elway. Look at this. I mean, if that thing hits him in the face or you have any idea how you can hurt somebody? Somebody's got to be a real idiot.
Look at John Elway right there. You see it come down.
Goes right by Mike Jones and misses Elway.
On the defense, the ball was snapped. It was a play. We have offsetting fouls. We'll replay the down.
What is that thing on the ground, though? Somebody should pick it up.
I don't know if they have seen it yet. Nobody's picked it up. It's right, Paul, and apparently the referees
never saw it.
Oh, it was an egg.
I'll tell you what, I got to find that chicken. That's got to be the toughest chicken in town. That egg went from the upper deck, hit the ground, and nothing happened. That's got to be a tough chicken.
Oh.
I guarantee you they're not eating that chicken tomorrow.
Oh. 2 points to tie for the Broncos.
Quarterback draw, maybe.
It is, and it works. 28 all. What a game to close out this 95 season. 28-28. Sequence engineered by the Duke, John Elway. Ed McCaffrey, you won't see a better catch than McCaffrey's.
There you see Eddie McCaffrey give a little push to James Trapp, gets a little separation, and look at that one-hand catch right there.
Oh, that is highlight material. And how did you know this was going to be a draw?
Well, it's a trademark of John Elway. Even when Dan Reeves was the coach in Denver, get everybody out of the backfield, let the quarterback run the draw, no defensive player there.
They got Pat Swilling coming upfield where he had to come down the field, and he didn't do it. It was wide open.
So it comes down to 5:45 left in the game. They start anew, and it's Rocket Ismail trying to use his speed to go wide, and does get around one man, but not Reggie Rivers, the author of the Broncos. A fine, talented writer indeed is Reggie Rivers, who
5:34. You don't want to score too soon.
Good point. That's right.
You don't.
They really have not stopped the Denver Bronco offense today. Really, the turnovers, and that's really all you can hope to do when you're facing them right now, is to keep pressuring the Broncos offense and hope sooner or later you force a turnover.
So Vince Evans, the playoffs in his hands. You win, you go to San Diego next week, first round. You lose, and Miami is in the playoffs. Harvey Williams, ooh, look as if that ball started to get loose in his hands as he was hit by Alan Aldridge.
You notice when they show that side of the bench, you see Jester McLaughlin reading the pictures from upstairs, or looking at the pictures. Look at these guys, that defense. They are trying to get some rest because these guys have been working all day long. The linemen trying to get to Elway, which they've only gotten to him, I think, one time, and that was Smith. And these guys are tired.
Evans is 6 for 7 and a touchdown passing in the game. Hobart has seen most of the duty, has 3 touchdown passes. Williams, good move in the backfield, should have been dropped for a loss, able to move close to a first down. It'll be 3rd and 3. James Jones makes the tackle.
Well, Dave Wyman was in the backfield. He should have he had a chance of making the play.
Well, at the start today, the good news came from Kansas City. Tough for these folks in Oakland. For the Chiefs, they rooted hard today. They needed Kansas City to beat Seattle. Had Seattle won, then the Raiders would have been denied, and it would have been Seattle moving on. But it opened it up, and it meant only the Raiders have it in their own hands, win against Denver, and they're in the playoffs. 3rd and 3. Evans to the sidelines. Caught! Darryl Hobbs. Was he knocked out of bounds back at the 49 of Denver, first down. Boy, did Evans thread that one through line of Washington's coverage.
Vince Evans has been on the money today, down the field, and right here, just a quick drop and throw to the sideline, but watch how tight this is. 3-step drop. He knows it's tight, and I'll tell you the one thing he does well, he throws it outside, and with a lot of speed on it, that's why Lionel Washington could not make the play.
Boy, Hobbs just did hit the sidelines at the 49. Washington, good coverage.
Oh, wow. Can't cover any better than that unless you knock it down.
4:12 left in this 4th quarter. Tied at 20. Play action by Evans. Wide open. James Jett fumbles the ball. A scramble at the 29.
Pass was complete to James Jett.
And Denver says they have it, waiting for confirmation. Yes, Broncos on Jett's fumble after a 20-yard pass play.
Oh, man, how many times have we seen this today? The guys are stripping the ball. This is like the 3rd or 4th time in the ball game.
Dave Wyman stripped it away for the Broncos, number 92. 350. Wyman, the man who made the hit on Hostetler in the first game in Denver. And Wyman makes a much bigger hit here as he hustles from off the play to force Jett's fumble. And tied at 28. It's Elway going to work from his own 28-yard line. And he throws. Craver was close enough that there's no flag. Austin Robbins applying pressure. You were saying during the commercial break, Phil, that's what makes you proud of being a part of the National Football League was the last play, the hustle by Wyman.
That's right. That's what's changed this league, Dick, and that's what makes it so competitive and hard-hitting. Guys hustling. Dave Wyman, 20-some yards away from the play, runs down the field, makes the hit that could be the difference in the game, and And this is a great play by him.
And another linebacker hustling too. Cadrez gets the fumble.
That's right.
The flag down, false start, no play. Gary Zimmerman pulled off his three-point stance. And all the flags that are going down now as Robbins goes into the end zone. The flags, some of those might be for action after the first whistle.
False start, number 69 offense, personal foul, 95 defense.
Personal foul on Robinson.
By rule, the false start is regarded and the personal foul is enforced.
So
15 yards.
Broncos get 15 yards as we welcome those of you who have seen the Miami Dolphins defeat the Rams 41-22. This is Dick Enberg along with Paul McGuire and Phil Simms in Oakland, and we've got a tremendous game here with playoff implications, of course, that involve Miami. Look at this catch by Ed McCaffrey. That made it 28-26 Oakland, and the Broncos went for the point conversion, and Elway on the quarterback draw dives in to tie it at 28, overcoming a lead in the second half that once was 28-17 Raiders. Then James Jett moving into Bronco territory inside the 30, stripped by Dave Wyman's tackle. Cadrez recovers, and now Elway, after the penalty just marked off against the Raiders, has it at his own 43 with 3 minutes and 48 seconds left in the fourth. What a game! Elway.
Oh, nobody's on him.
Right open is Pritchard. And he's into the 33-yard line. Dan Land makes the tackle. 25 on the play.
You know what Phil kills me, Phil? He knows where he is, Elway, all the time. I mean, I don't care what's coming at him. He knows. Watch him.
And look at him. He doesn't panic. Look at this. He looks right. And now he's going to scramble up. He sees a defense, and he's looking around the field, and he sees Mike Pritchard out to the right. Nobody on him.
Ed McCaffrey, who made the sensational touchdown catch that led to tying this game, is being attended to.
I mean, Dad, you talk about heads-up football by a quarterback. Elway knows exactly where he is at all times. Now, he's in the backfield, and he knows that he's got pressure coming up on him. James Trapp, 37, is a defense.
Release the ball. In case some of you have wandered away last-minute shopping and are joining us, this game has seen the Broncos and Raiders trade leads. It was 17-14 Denver at the half. Denver missed an easy field goal in the third. They turned it over twice, and the Raiders scored both times. Forged ahead 28-17, but Elway, true to his reputation, rallying the Broncos. First and 10. Aaron Cravers had his first ever 100-yard rushing game in the NFL. Chester McLaughlin and Mike Jones make sure he doesn't add to his total.
Dick, I'm going to tell you something. If we could get a shot of this field down by the end zone where they're going in, from the 20-yard line in, they don't want to be there to kick this field goal. They want to right there. Look at that middle of the field where the ball's going to be. They don't want to be there. There's no footing at all. If they're going to attempt the field goal, they want to do it outside the 20.
Good point. Kickers have just been falling on their face all day. Second and 10 with 2:35 left.
Another blitz.
Elway escapes and hits Craver. And Craver scrambles into the 23-yard line. He'll be short of the first down by a yard.
Well, Denver is fortunate, and so is John Elway this time. Look up to the top of your screen, and you can see the defenders right here are going to come on a blitz. And John Elway never sees the defensive back come. It's Bruce Pickens, I think. And right there, he's very fortunate. Didn't seem able at the last second to get over the top of him.
John B. Nimble.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. After the catch when Craver had it, Pickens downfield. Pritchard, downfield, number 81, clipped. He hit from the back, and they never called it, and the official was standing right there.
They're going to measure, just to add to Elway's heroics, he's thrown for 320 yards today. Craver has rushed for 106 yards. And Elway, with 2 touchdown passes, has set a new personal season record, 26 touchdowns this year for John.
And it really is almost hilarious, really, for us to sit, and we talked to him yesterday, and talk about retirement when you can play like this. I mean, it is fascinating to sit up here, to be out of the game, and just watch him work, and he's even better than I ever gave him credit for.
You know, I'll show you the clip of what Pritchard was talking about, and the officials were standing right there. Faber's got the ball on the left of the screen. Watch coming in, right there from behind. See the push down from behind? That's a clip. And there's an official standing right there. Doesn't call it.
They're down and about a foot for the Broncos. And there's the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left. The game tied at 28. Raiders win. They go to the playoffs.
They were really growing up fast. Too fast. All Kelly talked about was going to high school, and all I could think about was paying for college. Sure, I played around with a few mutual funds, but I was no expert. So I started talking to someone who could help, a broker at Dean Witter.
We must plan for our client's future as if it were our own.
Funny, kids think they're...
It's 3rd and 1. 2 minutes to go. Elway, the long count doesn't draw him offside and now spends a timeout. That's interesting. That's a play you often see 4th and 1, but on like 3rd and 1, yeah.
Yeah, don't take a chance right there. Try to get a cheap 5 yards.
Tomorrow, NBC Sports has a special Christmas package for all you fans. An NBA doubleheader. First, San Antonio takes on Phoenix. The Admiral against Sir Charles. Then a rematch of last season's NBA Finals. Houston and Orlando meet for the first time this year. Shaq O'Neal.
It's been a beautiful game to do and watch.
That's about where New England was against the Colts last night, and the big defensive play by Tony Bennett. They stack up the effort, do the Raiders, but Denver needed only inches. Let's see where they mark the ball.
First down. Oh, he's not here today.
Well, I'll tell you, that is not a very good spot there, Paul.
Bob McElhinney.
What do you think?
Call for the chains.
They got to get to the 22 almost. Where are they? Yeah, that's a first down.
Well, Paul McGuire claims to have never missed one of these close calls.
By the nose of the ball.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I have to admit, though, he has. You were wrong once this year. No, this is one time.
Do you remember which game?
Is it first down or 4th and inches?
First down, by the nose of the ball.
Wow.
What, are you questioning me? Hey, are you questioning me?
You are good. I'm gonna. Yeah, you are good, Paul. 30th first down of the game for Denver with 1:56 left. Now the Broncos are going to force the Raiders to have to use timeouts. Otherwise, Oakland won't have a chance if the Broncos do kick a field goal or score a touchdown.
The Raiders have 3.
And Denver down to 1 timeout.
Look at Pat's Willie's taking. They're taking one now.
Oh my! The Raiders are going to spend a timeout here for whatever reason. Boy, that might come in handy later.
Yeah, because I do not think the Broncos were clock conscious right now. I think they were going to run their offense.
And they're going to put 2 seconds back on the clock. 150. Great Gus Otto, the Hall of Fame center with Al Davis. Tough to believe. You start 8-2. You do lose your quarterback. You lose 5 in a row, and yet still find yourself at the start of this game in position with 1 win to break the losing streak here in the playoffs.
That's why they were so excited this week. You know, it's just, you know, they're great fortune to lose 5 in a row and say, wow, we still have a chance if we win to get into playoffs, because all they had to hope for today was Kansas City, maybe the best team in the AFC, beating Seattle.
Saver of the Raiders, Biletnikoff.
Looking stylish in the hat and a nice leather jacket.
Hey, must have been free because old Freddie never bought anything.
1:50 left. Craver behind Gary Zimmerman and Mark Schlereth. Greg Biekert makes the tackle. Pat Bowlen. His choice was Mike Shanahan before last year, and finally got him to be the head coach. He has a 7-year contract to Shanahan. I think that Bowlen and the Bronco fans, while they're not pleased that Denver won't be in the playoffs, Phil and Paul, it's a team that is exciting, and the offensive side seems to be well in place.
I think John Elway said it perfectly to us last night. We're talking to him, and he says, I'm used to playing offense where we try to do things to protect our defense and to slow the game and all those things down. He says, but Mike, he goes, all it is.
An operation, he'll determine whether he comes back or not. But he says, I want to finish my career here in Denver. So actually, they have all the offense in place.
Each team with a timeout. The give is to Milburn, and that's well done by Mike Jones. And Jones immediately calls time, and that's it for the Raiders with 1:39 left. And we'll bring up 3rd down and 9.
I was surprised at this play because this handoff, he almost misses the handoff. You would think they would try to hit a more basic. Watch this when John has to reach for Milburn here. Here it is, bang, and he reaches out. Milburn takes it. Good play by the defense. They're right on target. But I don't like the play. I'd rather see a direct handoff.
Go back to your point, Paul McGuire. The at the 21-yard line, and the field condition inside the 20 is miserable. Whether it's been punter or field goal kicker, no one's had any footing. But outside the 20, as we pull back, there is pretty solid footing, and it may almost be an advantage for Denver to not be too close.
Or just they'll go forward, get to the 20, because it'll be about a 38-yard field goal from there.
But the only thing I don't like about it is the fact they're playing pretty safe right here. Is Jason Elam's already missed one field goal today, and
at 27 yards.
And we've seen it all year long. When they miss one, it seems to, the self-correction. He misses it left, the next one's going to go right, and it almost always happens. So I don't know. Well, I'm next to you. You were a kicker, weren't you?
Huh? No one in the backfield. Away, and the quarterback draw, and he gains only a yard to the 19, and that brings up 4th down. And on comes Elam. Elam kicked one from 45 that hit the upright, the left upright. He missed one from 27, missed left, didn't correct right, but missed left. And then he made one from 27.
If the Broncos here, you let the clock run all the way down. They could take another 20 seconds off, get inside of a minute, take your final timeout then, and with 1 second left to go, run as much off as you possibly can. That's what they're going to do.
Billy Joe Hobart, the starting quarterback, now playing cheerleader. Down to a minute left.
When they get the ball back, I believe we're going to see Vince Evans again.
Pressure on Elam. He is the Pro Bowl kicker for the AFC. He's made 5 from outside 50. Now there are no timeouts left either side as Elway uses Denver's last. It'll be 36 yards to give Denver the lead, and then the Raiders will have 53 seconds to try to come up with whatever.
A 27-yard missed one. This game wouldn't even be at this point right now if he makes that field goal. And he is one of the better kickers in professional football.
Wait a minute, you called him the best.
He's the best. No, well, yeah, he is. He's going to Pro Bowl, isn't he?
That's right.
On the AFC side, there are a few boys over in that NFC.
Yeah, they're pretty good. The Andersons aren't bad.
Let's look at seen him slip and fall a couple times today, so I know it's playing on his mind.
36 yards. It is good.
Wow.
The Raiders thought it was wide, and Mike Jones down there to argue. He barely sneaks that one through.
Well, I looked at it. I'll tell you, it did not look good. I said that I thought he did. It was at the top of the goalpost. But the thing about it is both the officials are standing underneath the 2 outside rungs of that goalpost, and they're looking right there. If that thing's inside of them, it's good.
Yep. So Elam out of the hold from Tom Ruin in the pretty good footing. No slippage there, and Elam wishes that one through. Here's a good look at it.
I think he did wish it through. This one I saw at the top. When you look at the pole, it looked to me like it was outside of it. But there's, again, the official stands right there looking straight up. If it's on his inside, it's in. John.
Denver blue.
You did it again, maybe, John. Well, you got about 48 seconds to say you did it again.
5 turnovers in today's game. 4 led to scores. The last disasters for the Raiders as James Jett, first time he touched the ball all day, had made a catch. 20-yard gain, fumbles inside the Denver 30 when the Raiders were in position to take the lead. And then Elway marches his team downfield for the go-ahead field. Don't forget, right after our final gun here, the entire playoff picture, home field advantage, who plays whom, even a look a couple of weeks ahead with Greg and Mike and Joe, as well as look at the statistical champions of the NFL this year. Elam to the Rocket at the 9. flags down as Ismail makes it to the 27-yard line. Well, we saw Tamarick Vanover of Kansas City return the opening kickoff for a touchdown for Kansas City. He doesn't do a lot of dancing. He gets a direct line and at full speed goes, and the more you dance, it seems, the less you get. And those kick returns.
Number 25 on the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Dan Land with a foul, and so to compound the Raider problems, only 43 seconds left, and Vince Evans, the veteran quarterback, while Billy Joe Hobart watches and hopes with his head man Mike White, will start from the 17.
No timeouts.
If the Raiders should lose, there are some rumors flying that Mike White's tenure as head coach might be just 1 year. One of the people mentioned is Joe Bugle, the offensive coordinator, former Arizona coach. Evans to Williams, using sidelines brilliantly and out of bounds at the 34 with no timeouts. He took the gamble of staying in bounds, and it needed one fake to get by a defender. 17 on the play.
Excellent job by Harvey Williams, and a situation like this, a good time for a quarterback to maybe get out of the pocket, give your receivers an extra second or two down the field, and get a chance to throw it on the sideline so they can get out of bounds.
Jeff Jager's longest ever is 54 on this field. You're probably going to kick one over 50. But they need to get down around the 33-yard line. Vince Evans, but there's no timeouts, Vince, to the 45. And now the Raiders have to hurry to line up, and Evans ground the ball. Final seconds tick away. Seconds that would put Miami in the playoffs and take the Raiders out. There was a false start.
What took so long to snap it there? He was underneath and he was calling signals.
Yeah, Gerald Perry moves. I mean, that's true. I mean, why is he waiting so long? As soon as he's under, how is that determined?
False start, number 71 offense. By rule, that foul requires 10 seconds to be run off of the clock.
Oh my, because they have no timeouts left.
Yes.
That takes it from 16 down to 6 seconds left.
What about Vince Evans? What do you do, Phil? I mean, is it touch of the center when he's ready?
There's a call you make to kill the clock, and you get up under there. Nobody moves. Just stand there. Quarterback, take it, throw it to the ground. But for some reason, he was calling signals. The offensive linemen were not patient enough and just couldn't wait, and that's why they jumped off sides.
We're endeavoring on the postgame show to get the winningest all-time coach Don Shula. There have been some real lows in this season, but the high will be today. He apparently is going to be in the playoffs unless the Raiders come up with a 60-yard touchdown play, because this undoubtedly will be, if there's no defensive penalty, the last play of the game. One desperation attempt. Evans got the arm, and he's got the receiver in Brown, and it's Tim Brown going deep along with Ismail. Almost caught. And down it goes, and with it, the hopes of the Oakland Raiders. They finish the season with 6 consecutive defeats. The Raiders go home. The Miami Dolphins are in the playoffs and go to Buffalo next week. It will be Indianapolis at San Diego, and Mike Shanahan, deep down, some satisfaction. The former head coach with the Raiders has spoiled a season for Al Davis's Raiders. For Paul